the regular season. And Game Time on YurView delivers a contest with playoff implications and a district championship on the line. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the broadcast from the floor of Bellevue West John Fiman Field. I'm Gary Sharp, along with John Schreiner. Megan Scolio is a third member of our crew, and she'll join us here momentarily. If you like quarterbacks, you like running backs, you like wide receivers, you'll like tonight's matchup. It is between the defending Class A champion Bellevue West, who just had their 20-game winning streak snapped, and the preseason favorite Omaha Burke. So, John, do you have your sneakers on? Because I think we're about to experience basketball on grass.
Oh, well, sometimes we say points are at a premium in a football game. I think we could have defense at a premium here tonight. Could be a lot of lights lit up on that scoreboard.
The last time we saw the Burke Bulldogs, James Burks ran wild. He's a major key tonight for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, James Burks on full display in that game we did earlier against Westside. Tremendous balance. He stays upright, puts a hand in the turf to pick himself back up. So tough to bring down. You got to get multiple bodies to him to get him on the ground.
These two prolific offenses feature the running backs, and on the Bellevue West side, last week they scored 62 points and lost, but it wasn't because of Javon Ducker and his performance.
Yeah, Javon Ducker, he's just a sophomore, Gary. This guy is the real deal. 291 yards on only 19 carries a week ago. I mean, he is one of the best sophomores maybe in the whole state of Nebraska on display here tonight.
Lots of offense tonight, but will defense be the key? We'll check in with Megan Scolio when you return. It's Game Time on YurView, the Iowa Western Game of the Week tonight. Bellevue West and Omaha Burke.
Schedule your campus visit today. Iowa Western. The world is waiting.
On a windy evening at John Fiman Field, a matchup of two top 10 teams that have aspirations of hoisting a championship trophy. Along with John Schreiner, I'm Gary Sharp. We mentioned these two teams like to put up points. Will it be all about points, or will there be some defense mixed in? Let's check in for the first time tonight with a third member of our crew, Megan Scolio. Megan?
Hey Gary, let's start with Omaha Burke. Key number one for them is 6, not 3. Bellevue West can score on anyone, which lowers the margin of error for the Bulldogs. They need to make the most of their time in the red zone and come away with touchdowns, not field goals. Key number 2 is stop the run. Burke needs to limit the damage that Javon Ducker does on the ground. If they get the running game going, it opens a lot in the passing game, so Burke must stop the run. As for Bellevue West, key number 1 is special teams. In their loss last week to Westside, they gave up 2 kick return touchdowns. Those 14 points are what made the difference in their 73-62 loss. Key number 2 is gang tackling. James Burks won't go down easy, and Tyler Chadwick can be slippery in the pocket. So the Thunderbirds need to get multiple guys to the football to limit yards after contact. Gary, back to you.
Thanks, Megan. Last year, these two teams combined for 86 points. So the first one to 50, we will see. We've been looking forward to this one. We've got kickoff next. It's Game Time on YurView, Iowa Western Game of the Week. Bellevue West and Omaha Burke.
Bouncy ball. Look, it's almost alive.
Advertising used to be simple. Make an ad, put it on TV, get results. Today, with all the new viewing options,
It's a lot more complex. At Cox Media, we make the complex simple. With precise targeting, transparency, and automation, we connect advertisers to audiences. Anyone, anywhere, on any screen. Advertising simplified. Contact Cox Media to learn more.
You're the decision maker, weighing every option to make the smartest choice. That's why you start with Nebraska Medicine, an entire network of top providers working together to keep you healthy. From extraordinary primary care to world-leading research and treatments, so you can be confident everyone's health is in good hands. The state's most comprehensive care in 19 locations. Nebraska Medicine.
You're watching this week's Game Time on YurView, the Iowa Western Game of the Week. It's a District A1 showdown. Omaha Burke and Bellevue West. Omaha Burke with their head coach Paul Lamanji, 7-1, 5-0 in the district. Their lone loss was to #1 Omaha North. They rebounded last week, winning 30-0 against Lincoln North Star, number 3 in the state. Paul Lamanji, in his 12th year, only the 3rd head coach at Burke since 1969. As he has his team thinking more defense after that shutout last week. 2 weeks ago, they were right here on Game Time, and we saw that wild affair between Burke and Westside. Paul Lamanji feels they fixed some of those defensive problems that ailed them against Omaha North. And that is a Burke alum. He is in his 5th year as the head coach of Bellevue West, Mike Huffman. Last year, 13-0, state champions. Last week, though, had their 20-game winning streak snapped, John, in a 73-62 loss to Omaha Westside, a game that set the record for the most points scored in an 11-man contest in the state of Nebraska history.
Yeah, that was a wild one, but it's an interesting dichotomy between these two coaches. You see Paul Lamanji, stoic, very serious, hard-nosed kind of guy, Youngstown, Ohio native, sort of that blue-collar kind of coach. Then you get Mike Huffman, very upbeat, very energetic, likes to be very engaging with his players and sort of almost loosey-goosey on the sidelines. So just different coaching styles, but both are working for each of these staffs.
Beautiful weather here tonight. 72 at kickoff. Wind will play a factor. It's out of the south-southeast at 18 miles an hour. Burke will kick off. Jason Gutierrez approaches the football. Friday Night Lights in Sarpy County, and we are underway. And this will travel through the end zone for a touchback, and we'll get a look at this Bellevue West offense. Last year, they were led by Jalen Bradley in the backfield. He's now a true freshman and playing at the University of Nebraska. Joe Dolenchek is back as quarterback. Twice this year, he has thrown for 7 touchdown passes in a game. He is number 2 in passing in Class A. There's Javon Ducker, who we profiled at the beginning of tonight's contest. Bellevue West starts on offense. They like to spread you out. This is a high-flying offense, basketball on grass. Dolenchek with Ducker directly behind him. Barks out the signals as he looks at a 4-man front. And he hands it off to Ducker, and Ducker scoots through the middle and cuts to the outside. And Ducker then is upended at the 37-yard line, and a quick pickup of 17 yards on the opening carry of the game.
Yeah, this is going to be a staple for this offense. It's an inside zone run, just perfectly executed, well read by Ducker to find the seam and get a big gainer on the first play.
Javon Ducker on his 119th carry of the year is now over 1,200 yards, 20 touchdowns. He accounted for 5 scores in that wild affair last week at Westside, and he carries once again, and he breaks into the next level before he's hauled down from behind by Chris Hickman.
And pretty lucky that Ducker was able to hold on to the ball there. Good mechanics of keeping that thing secure when he came to the line, because Hickman came through with a strong paw, and that could have easily been a fumble. When a back gets tackled from behind like that, that's where you see a lot of fumbles.
Already out to the 43. This drive started after the touchback at the 20. Just underway. Glad to have you in the final night of the regular season. Winner wins the district. Dolenchek, quick 3-step drop. And his pass is incomplete as he was looking for the extremely talented sophomore pass catcher, Xavier Betts. And let's take a look at this offense for Bellevue West, an offense that is number 2 in Class A, averaging 484 yards a game.
Yeah, playmakers, as you said in the open, everywhere. Ducker, Cedric Johnson, Shane Smith, Xavier Betts, all those guys can go the distance on any play.
Now the defending Class A champions stare at a 3rd down and 3. Dolenchek with 4 wide receivers in the pattern. A lot of mush rush coming from Burke. And the inside handoff to Ducker, and he's got the first down. He's across midfield and into Burke Bulldog territory. before he is brought down by Bobby Murray.
Really interesting blocking scheme on this play. Offensive lineman on the backside just cuts all the defensive linemen. You'll see it right here. Watch these backside offensive linemen. They're going to shoot down at the ankles of the defensive linemen and cut them down so that they can't pursue from the backside.
An offensive line that's led by A.J. Forbes and Tyler Reynolds, but a young offensive line. At times, they've started 3 sophomores. Again, motion. Smith comes to the last guy in motion. Trips to the bottom of your screen as Dolenchek counts out the cadence. Play action. The rush is on. He just throws it up, and it is incomplete. As for the first time tonight, Paul Lamanji dialed up a blitz. As we'll take a look at that defense that just blitzed Joe Dolenchek. A defense 30-0 shutout last week against North Star, and that had come on the heels of allowing a lot of points prior to that. It's a defense that's got 2 Division I prospects on it.
And the 2 inside linebackers will be very active tonight. Henrich and Bobby Murray, 72 and 51 tackles respectively.
2nd down and 10 for Dolenchek, opening drive of the game. Dolenchek now with Ducker in motion. The snap back to the signal caller, who is a senior, and throws it deep down the sideline, and it's over the head of Smith. Incomplete, and it'll bring up another 3rd down situation for Bellevue West. They love to spread you out, John, and there's not a lot of teams in Class A that have the personnel that can go and play the spread out, because they'll spread you out and everybody thinks, boy, you're going to throw the ball, but they'll run the ball out of the spread, as we've seen the arm of Dolenchek and the legs of Ducker.
Yeah, it's one of the misconceptions about the spread offense. The spread offense, really the idea is to spread you out to run first and then hit you when with the pass when you put that extra defender down in the box.
Last 3 games, Bellevue West has scored 73, 62, and 62. Their lowest number this year is 34. Now they have a 3rd down situation. Smith, the transfer from North, is in motion. Snap back on an empty backfield to Dolenchek. Zips it down the field. It's caught. It's a 1st down for Betts. He holds it into the 35-yard line.
Just so well executed. Great route by Betts to get just enough. Knows exactly where the sticks are. Dolenchek looks off the safety and then delivers a strike for the 1st down. Well executed play.
Xavier, spell it with a Z. People will be learning his name. He's only a sophomore, one of the top players in Nebraska. Mike Hoffman thinks that he will be one of the best ever at catching the football in this state before his career is over. The drive started at the 20, now it's at the 35. As from the sideline, Mike Hoffman, who is his own OC, changes the play call. Dolenchek with Ducker on his right hip. Throws it out into the flat and over the head of Smith. And he's got to track it down because it was a backwards pass. He does, and it's a major loss. All the way back to the 44-yard line. That's a loss of 9.
Yeah, just a rare mistake from Dolenchek. He really did not put that ball in a good spot for Smith to catch it. Just well over his head. And your senior quarterback in a game like this, you need him to settle into a bit of a rhythm. He's made 1 good throw, but a couple of others have been off the mark early.
34 touchdown passes, 5 interceptions. Number 2 in passing in Class A, and he'll throw it again. The screen to Ducker, and he's got lots of room. Closing in is the defenders. In on the tackle is Davis, also Woods. But because of the big loss on 1st down, this will be 3rd and long.
It's a good play if you're 2nd and 10, but when you're 2nd and about 18, it's just not going to be good enough.
3rd down and 10. Again, Dolenchek twice this year has thrown for 7 touchdown passes in a game. Beginning of the year, Papio South and Bellevue East set records in Class A. He'll throw it again. Short of the sticks. Betts catches it. Mows over a defender. He's going to be close where they mark him. Did he get the full 10? Betts has already been offered by South Dakota State. Unofficial visit to Iowa State. Nebraska's interested as well. Here's the pass to Betts. Did he get the 1st down? And
certainly
yes,
looks like it.
Yes, he did.
But early on, Gary, it looked like Burke was just going to trust their secondary and bring a lot of pressure. Didn't bring any that time, and Dolenchek found the open man.
Mike Huffman likes to call his players on offense the Cadillacs. The Cadillacs are driving towards the red zone. Ducker in the backfield, receives the handoff, runs right up the middle, and he breaks it down to the 15-yard line. And a good lead handoff, and he was headed towards the end zone before the talented middle linebacker for the Bulldogs, Bobby Murray, put a stop to it.
Yeah, good pull by A.J. Forbes, the right guard. You're going to see him come around and just blow that thing wide open. Forbes, maybe the best offensive lineman, the 6'3", 280 senior. You're watching him move bodies all night long.
Four-year starter has come back from a torn MCL during his sophomore year. First down for the Thunderbirds. Dalenchek calls his own number and lunges for a couple of yards. Giovanni Woods, the big 295-pound nose tackle for the Bulldogs, was grabbing on to Dalenchek, who Mike Huffman will joke with him and said, boy, you could be playing guard, 6 foot 220. Dalenchek says, Coach, have you seen my arm and my IQ on the field? All right, you're a quarterback.
They used to tease him when he was a freshman that he was destined to be a defensive player, and just kept working at it.
Now the Wildcat, Dalenchek is split out to the bottom of your screen. Ducker in the backfield takes the snap and is not going anywhere. Burke read that from the start. And another third down situation. Murray, Burks in on the tackle. You're going to hear Bobby Murray a lot tonight. Nick Henricks and Chris Hickman are two that have Division I offers, but Bobby Murray is the epitome of a middle linebacker. Look at him wrap up Ducker on that replay.
Yeah, Bobby Murray's a good one. He's sort of flies under the radar a little bit, but he's definitely a player in the middle of that defense.
It is second down and 10. Dalenchek, pump fake, and the blitz is on by Murray, and he has to throw it away, and it's almost intercepted. Oh, my.
There's another blitz right up the A gap, and this is where Burke has been bringing all the pressure on this first offensive possession, and it's Murray, just not enough blockers, and Murray comes free. This is making it pretty obvious what the game plan is here for Burke. They want to put a lot of pressure on Dalenchek.
They can get a first down. This is third down now with 5 wide receivers, empty backfield. This is the opening drive of the game. Dalenchek looks towards the end zone, completes it to Smith, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown.
Dalenchek pass complete to number 22, James Smith.
Well done. Hickman comes free on the backside, but Dalenchek keeps his eyes downfield, finds Smith, who breaks one tackle and gets in for the score.
This is the 35th touchdown of the year, and a good catch by Shane Smith, transfer from Omaha North. That's the 7th time that he has scored. Daniel Campbell is in for the PAT. That opening drive took a little over 4 minutes. The PAT is good, and West on a 15-yard touchdown pass from Dalenchek to Smith. They scratch the scorecard first, 7-0.
Okay, it's decision time. I want to experience a 4-year college in 2 years. I want to live on campus, but get to my career faster. I want to get started now. Find your path at iwcc.edu and get hands-on, real-world experience. Start now at Iowa Western.
Where will the next generation of caregivers come from? Who trains them? Who mentors them? Who inspires them? At CHI Health, we believe in the power of education. As partners with Creighton University, we are advancing a new era of academic health care. We're researching and collaborating to bring more minds to every case, every patient, every day. We're giving the future of care a new home. CHI Health. Imagine that.
Mike Huffman on the sidelines talking to his playmakers in purple, including Shane Smith with a touchdown pass, 14 yards officially. What a drive, John. 80 yards, but the length.
Yeah, 15 plays, and perhaps more impressive was that Bellevue West is 4 for 4 on third downs, and not one of them was really an easy third and short pickup either.
And now we see the Omaha Burke offense. They will receive the kickoff. That was the opening drive of the game. A little over 4 minutes. Short kickoff, and it's muffed, and it's recovered at the 30-yard line by the Thunderbirds. Coming up to try and catch the short kickoff was Davis. He couldn't handle it, and Bellevue West will take over at the Burke Bulldog 30-yard line.
What a huge mistake early in this game. The short pop-up kick just does its job.
In the loss to Omaha North 2 weeks ago, 49-28, the Bulldogs were their own worst enemy. They give up an opening drive touchdown that consisted of 15 plays, and now the muffed kickoff. Bellevue West is staring at the goalpost again, and that offense is right back on the field. Most importantly, that defense is back out there. You have quite a few key two-way players for this Burke defense. Play action. Dolenchek throws it into the flat. It is caught, and it is a first down. Evan Kaiser, who last year began the year as the starting quarterback before a knee injury sidelined him, makes the catch on the pitch and catch, and it's a first down.
Just a well-run route by Kaiser. You're going to see him does the little pivot out route, gets away from the linebacker. Kimnock gets down the sideline. T-Birds in business yet again.
Inside of the 10-yard line. Inside handoff to Ducker. Cuts it back. Cuts it to the purple. And he's into the paradise. And he makes it rain. And it's 13-0. So 2 plays after the muffed kickoff, Bellevue West scores. And Javon Ducker, 26th touchdown this year, the 21st on the ground. This should make people shudder all across the metro as you see his touchdown run. He's only a sophomore.
Great block by Tyler Reynolds to just cut off Henrich and give Ducker the cutback lane wide open after that.
Campbell in once again for the PAT. This is his 51st PAT of the season, and just like that, it is 14-0 Bellevue West. Trayvon Ducker, whose brother Tristan is a key contributor in the backfield for top 5 FCS program, South Dakota in Vermillion, South Dakota, which is about 2 hours away. He's got a bright future, and he's got another touchdown, and Burke has yet to put their offense on the field, and they're down 2 scores, John.
And I think what you've seen so far from Javon Ducker is vision beyond his years. You wouldn't expect a sophomore to be able to find cutback lanes like this, but he's been doing it. And you know, the big pass to Kaiser set that thing up, and a great little cutback run from the youngster. 14-0 T-Birds.
In this Burke defense, they went back-to-back weeks. West Side, they had to face that spread offense of the Warriors, and then they had to face that North ground and pound. Now they're back to facing a spread, down 14-0. It's Bellevue West, which last week saw their 20-game winning streak come to an end in a 73-62 loss to West Side, up 14-0. On a season after they won their first ever title, Burke is still searching for their first title. Began the year as preseason number 1. And another short kickoff, this time taken by Davis cleanly. He'll get to the 30. And finally, we will see the Bulldog offense. But Davis again had trouble with that short kickoff.
Well, and you wonder, after giving up a couple of kick returns for touchdown a week ago to Avante Dickerson at Westside, if this week the Thunderbird special teams unit worked on a little something different to try and kick it high and let the coverage get down there and surround the returner rather than giving him a running start by kicking it deep.
This offense for the Bulldogs, led by Tyler Chadwick, only a junior, 4th in Class A, 463 yards. Davis in motion, but the inside handoff is to James Burks, and he is mauled in the interior of that defensive line for Bellevue West. Here is this lineup that 4 different times this year has scored 47 or more, led by Chadwick. Burks, the last time we saw the Bulldogs, he ran for 250.
Yeah, and 40 carries. 40 of his 150 carries on the season came in 1 game.
That's a very good veteran offensive line for the Burke Bulldogs. No gain for Burks. 2-time state champion in wrestling. Chadwick play action pass struck off the hands of Darnell Davis, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. Bellevue West, if you're just joining us here on Game Time on YurView, took the opening kickoff and drove 15 plays, 80 yards. Their defense, they're smart after last week when they allowed 73 points. Mike Huffman said it was the deer in the headlights look.
And they're missing a key contributor, Jalen Powell, 39 tackles, 8 sacks, broken scapula. He's going to be out for a while.
3rd down and 10. Chadwick play action. Pass incomplete. And a pass interference. A late flag. There was contact with the wide receiver, Hickman. And the late flag came from the Burks sideline, and it will be pass interference on Bellevue West. And we will get a look tonight for the first time at our referee, Arnold Johnson. You see the pass interference call, and that's the first down for the Burke Bulldogs. 6:25 to go here in the first quarter. From John Fiman Field, it is named after the legendary and late Bellevue West football coach. Brand new synthetic turf, and as you see, there is purple everywhere.
15-yard penalty. First down.
John Fiman actually went to Nebraska. He's from South Omaha, went to Nebraska as a quarterback. He was the first to throw a touchdown pass in the Bob Devaney era.
A little bit of trivia for you here on Friday night.
25 years as the head coach, passed away in 2012 and is missed on a daily basis around this football program. Burks with his second carry of the night, and it'll be for negative yardage.
It's a good job of flow by the linebackers here to bring that thing in. Austin Shook gets out there and runs it down. He just cuts off the pulling guard, Dylan Sales, who gets hung up in traffic. You're going to see it, 68 flashes across, and he gets hung up right there. He's supposed to be out in front of James Burks, and by the time he gets there, it's just a little too late.
Defense has pitched a couple of shutouts this year. They gave up 73, the most ever allowed in school history. So second down and long. Chadwick again, play action, some good protection, steps up, throws it deep down the field, and it is out of the reach of Xavier Watts. He had a step on the defensive back, Gannon Spahn. Chadwick was just a little long, and it'll be third down now for the Bulldogs.
Well, great protection. He had a really clean pocket, no pressure. T-Birds had dropped off in coverage, and he had a man. Davis had gotten behind Spahn, had a step, just couldn't quite put it on him.
Andrew Reiner is one of the best right tackles in the state, 260 pounds, a senior. They did lose Nathan Herrera in a game against Norfolk this year with a season-ending injury. Again, third down for the Bulldogs. Chadwick rolling out, looking downfield, throws on the run. A wobbly pass is incomplete. Spahn came up trying for the pick as it was off the wide receiver Hickman, and the Bulldogs will have to punt.
Well, Chadwick has just come out with a little bit of happy feet. He needed to really set himself up and throw that ball. He had Eloy right there, could have completed the pass, but for whatever reason, not sure what's going on. Chadwick just needs to settle down a little bit and deliver the ball where it needs to go.
Tyler Collins is the punter for Burke. His drive stalls at the 44-yard line. It was aided by a pass interference call on the Thunderbirds on third down. The snap is low. Collins picks it off the synthetic turf, sends the punt away. It'll be returned from inside of the 10. And out to the 20-yard line and a late flag. Wind again could be a factor. Again, wind out of the south-southeast at 18 miles an hour. We'll get a look at the penalty after the return by Evan Kaiser. As you can see the wind whipping through Arnold Johnson's shirt as he confers with his officiating crew on the final night of the regular season. Week number 9. The playoffs begin next Friday, and we'll be right back with you here on the Iowa Western Game of the Week. Game time on YurView. We've really enjoyed this season. Our crew has had a great time. We've seen some fantastic games. When this schedule came out, we were looking forward to this one. Burke hasn't been looking forward to the first 6 minutes and 40 seconds. As finally we'll get the call on the penalty on the punt return.
Personal foul. Receiving. Personal foul is declined. Says the bottom back. Half the distance. First down.
All of that will tell you that Bellevue West was not very good on that punt return.
I'm telling you, Gary, punt returns have to be the most penalized play in football. Holding, block in the back, somebody's offsides. It seems like there's always a penalty on the punt return.
That's what he says. That's the fifth-year head coach of Bellevue West. A month and a day from now is the Class A final. Both these teams have sights set on it as this drive starts for the Thunderbirds at the 10-yard line. And before the snap, we have a whistle And a timeout is taken by Burke because I don't believe they had 11 men on the field.
Yeah, somebody trying to run on late.
Again, late tonight, early in the morning, the bracket will come out. In Class A, 16 teams make the playoffs. The top 3 in each of the 4 districts, then 4 wild card participants. If you cut it off now, you would see Proclaim La Vista South would be in. There are about 3 spots that are open tonight. But let's focus on the 2 teams playing tonight. Burke at number 5, Bellevue West at number 7. The loser of this game could slip to maybe an 8-9, and boy, you would hate to be involved in that if you're on the other side of that matchup.
Well, how about a rematch of Bellevue West and Omaha West side potentially in the first round of the playoffs?
3 unbeaten teams, North Kearney and Lincoln High. Kearney won last night against Omaha Benson. Lincoln High and Millard West in a showdown tonight. Omaha North is in the capital city against Lincoln Pius X. North, which won titles in 13 and 14, have won 4 of the last 5 title games, have been in 4 of the last 5 title games. They are number 1 currently in Class A, followed by Millard West and then the Burke Bulldogs, who trail by 2 touchdowns. Ducker on the first carry of this drive weaves his way through traffic for 8 yards. Javon Ducker, 5'10", 170 pounds, 1,200 plus yards, and then he adds 400 through the air. Dolenchek with the up-tempo on 2nd down and 2 for the T-Birds. Ducker drops out of the backfield. The pass is incomplete as Betts again couldn't handle a toss from Dolenchek, and it'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, it's a little high as Betts turns around and kind of shows his hands to the quarterback, but as a receiver, especially one that's 6'3", you just got to come up with that catch. They had that sort of jailbreak screen look, and it was there. And Betts might still be running if he pulls that thing in.
Stephen Eloy's got 3 interceptions on the year. He's a transfer from Omaha South. Now a key 3rd down. Burke needs a stop. Down 2 touchdowns here in the first quarter. Toss to the outside to Ducker. Now they let him run with Forbes in front of him. And Ducker is across the 25 to the 26, and that's a 1st down. And a fantastic play call. Probably caught Burke a little off guard on the toss to Ducker.
Yeah, just a real quick pitch. You get those pulling linemen out in front. Great block from the wide receiver on the edge. Forbes gets out in front to put a big body in front of the running back and a good gainer to pick up the 1st down.
That's an offensive lineman, 57 in your screen, that benches 350 pounds, 450 on the squat, 550 on the deadlift, so he's in John Schreiner range. Dolenchek throws it out to the flat. On the catch, the run by Kaiser, the stiff arm as he's pushed out of bounds by a trio of black helmets. But that is enough for another 1st down.
Another good play design here. You just flip it out to the wide receiver and get some good blocks on the edge. Again, the spread offense is about running the ball inside and throwing short, not really launching the ball all the way downfield. Get it to playmakers in space who can make yards after the catch.
Offense and offense and offense. Oh my, last year against North they had 777 yards, 43-6 victory. Ducker here may have lost his balance a bit. Hickman helped him to the turf and maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Bobby Murray, you look in your picture there. Well, he's got the neck roll. That's old school linebacker.
Wow, this Burke defense has really put the offense in a hole now, and the offense hasn't come up with anything on its first drive. So it's going to be on this defense now, playing from 2 scores behind to really come up with something.
Betts in motion, the little toss from Dolenchek. And a great defensive play. Hendricks from behind hauled down Betts at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, and that's the kind of play recognition and pursuit that you see out of a player that gets him a D1 offer. Watch Hendricks come into your picture. Betts has a cut, but coming inside out is Hendricks, who'd come through the line and track down the speedy sophomore. Great play by the linebacker.
Hendricks has 7 offers. Hickman has 4. Both have Nebraska offers. Hickman just got an Iowa offer. Dolenchek, quarterback draw, maybe to the line of scrimmage. The ball may have come free. Andrew Reiner comes out of there with the football. He would like some acknowledgement that he is holding the ball for the team that is on defense.
Yeah, I think we will acknowledge that he was in fact holding the football in the air, but the officials will not award him the turnover.
But that is a victory for this Burke defense, because for the first time tonight,
Bellevue West is going to punt. Mike Huffman doesn't like to punt the football. He would love to have his offense out there the entire game. Unless they change the rules, they are not allowed to do that. So Bellevue West will punt the football away. And Dolenchek, who also is the quarterback, a good punt. And picked up on one hop and returned by Burks across the 35. He'll start at the 36. So the second time tonight, Burke will have their offense on the field to start from the 36-yard line. It's playoffs, and the Game Time crew has you covered. On Monday, you'll be wanting to tune in to YurView.com. We'll announce which game we're covering next week, first week of the playoffs. It'll be right here on Channel 1013. And if you're on the go, simply pick us up online at YurView.com. Game Time is presented by Iowa Western, only on YurView. Chadwick, little toss to Davis, and Davis slowed up because Malik Roam blew up James Burks, the blocker, and Davis had to reverse course. Oh my.
Yeah, Malik Roam, watch this. You're going to see 44 come into the screen, and oh my goodness, almost took down the blocker and the ball carrier at the same time. Well played, young man.
Rome, 43 tackles on the year, 6 foot, 175 pounds. This is a team that put 5 on the All-State team last year of that 13-0 squad. Second down and long, Chadwick play action. Now he's under pressure, and he'll be sacked. Dakota McInnes got him around the ankles.
Second sack of the season for McInnes. Matt Thompson was there as well. Just Thompson comes off the edge and beats his man. McInnes comes from the other side. Both ends converge on the quarterback to bring him down.
Third down and lengthy for the Bulldogs. Chadwick, play action, 3-step drop. Now throws it. It is caught by Davis. Davis trying to find the first down marker, and he will come up about a yard short. The initial spot, but then it's changed. A half a sneaker following the initial spot gives the Bulldogs a first down. Look at this play by Davis.
Yeah, Davis picks this thing up. Nice turn to the outside. Runs through a tackle. And that's a pretty generous spot, I would say. But Gannon Spahn looked like he was going to make that tackle.
26th catch of the year for Davis. He's a transfer from Omaha Northwest. And a fresh set of downs. That means hands the ball off to James Burks. And Burks backs his way across midfield before there are 4 in purple that slow up the junior running back. Again, 2-time All-State Wrestling champion. He had quite a night the last time we were with you. 40 carries, 250 yards against Westside. He is number 5 in rushing in Class A, with closing in on 1,100 yards. So now the offense for Burke trying to find a rhythm. They're down 2 touchdowns. Burks carries again, and he's got a first down before he's down at the 40-yard line. McInnes was in on the tackle. Also grabbing a piece of James Burks was Caden Hayes.
Yeah, I love this offensive set. A little pistol with a fullback and an H-back in there to the same side. Then you get the pulling guard, 3 blockers at the point of attack.
This time, carrying the football with Burks getting a breather is Gio Maynor. And Maynor with a quick hitter will give him 4. As the first quarter will come to an end. So after an initial 2-touchdown explosion by Bellevue West, Burke appears to be a little grounded. Second quarter coming up next.
Charles Drew selected Cox Business because in the healthcare arena, it is imperative that we have transfer of data that is reliable, flexible, and fast. On average, Charles Drew Health Center has about 33,000 phone calls a month. With IP-Centrics, the system was very intuitive, and it allowed us to be reactionary to the needs of our patients. Cox Business Solutions has allowed us to be more efficient and effective in meeting the needs of the greater Omaha community. Cox Business is a great partner.
At Woodhouse Auto Family, the buying experience is different, and the over 27,000 customers who bought from us last year know why. Our knowledgeable sales staff know the brands, the products, and take time to get to know you and guide you to your perfect vehicle. And that experience continues with any of our 16 service locations. And with trained advisors and technicians to help you maintain your vehicle. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse.
When kids have internet access at home, they're more successful in the classroom. If your child is a K-12 student and your family receives government assistance, you could qualify for discounted Cox high-speed internet for only $9.95 a month. To enroll, call 855-222-3252 or visit cox.com/C2C. And while you're there, check out the Cox Digital Academy for educational tools and web tips for the whole family.
Along with John Schreiner, Megan Scolio, I'm Gary Sharp. Bellevue West leading 14-0, but the Burke Bulldogs are driving as we welcome you back to John Fiman Field on the last night of the regular season. Beautiful night. You can look at the Bellevue West student section, their pink out game. October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Also a good showing on the other side, the Burke student section wearing pink. So the Burke Bulldogs start the second quarter, 2nd down and 6, and they are driving. The best they've looked on offense, and they've got a little rhythm as Chadwick checks the sidelines. For the 12th year head coach, Paul Lamanji, and his staff signaling out plays. Chadwick, a quick toss out to the flat. It is caught. And it's a first down and more. Davis with the catch, and he gets extra yardage.
And Davis, who had his struggles early on, dropped that first kickoff by Bellevue West to turn it over. Dropped a pass early on, but right here makes the best of it. Breaks the tackle, cuts back inside. Good moves from Davis, and they need him. He's one of their better receivers out on the edge. I haven't seen anything out of Xavier Watts, the other wide receiver, yet.
Fun to watch both of these quarterbacks. They have such great command of the offense. Burks on the carry. Hayes slows him up. Burks, who is from northeast Omaha, not the friendliest place, but it has shaped James Burks. John wrote a fantastic story a couple of weeks ago on Burks and growing up and a couple of different stops he's had in high school and how he's found a home at Burke. 2 straight state wrestling titles. His high school wrestling coach is also on this staff, West Bay. So a good drive by Burke. Fake the handoff. Burks gets it as Davis cut through on the motion, and Burks for minimal gain. Dominic Chalopacek makes the tackle.
Mike linebacker Austin Shook, leading tackler, one of them on the defense. He's right there, and he's been active tonight. He's really going to play a big part in shutting down this Bulldog rushing attack.
Big snap here. 3rd down and about 5. 4 wide receivers for Chadwick. He finds Davis. That's a first down and more inside of the 10. As Davis has been big for Tyler Chadwick on this drive.
And Darnell Davis has just kind of done it all on this possession, and he got past Spahn once again. Gannon Spahn doesn't come with good discipline, doesn't break down at the tackle, and Davis around him to pick up the first down.
Now at the 4-yard line, Burke is knocking on the door. Will Bellevue West let him in? Burks is upended. Back to the line of scrimmage.
And Burks is so strong that is probably the best way to tackle him, is hit him about mid-thigh, because if you hit him up high, he can shake you off. He'll absorb the contact, run through it. You got to hit this guy low. Even though he doesn't look like a load, he runs like a much bigger back.
5'11", 170. Play action. Chadwick now has to step up. And he's under pressure. Eludes one tackle, but he can't get past the second one. Maybe a loss of 1. Logan Bird, the junior linebacker, gets credit for the tackle, and now it's 3rd down and goal, and another key 3rd down situation for the Bulldogs. And this was a good defensive sack, especially the defensive backs wouldn't let those wide receivers go.
Well, and this is what Megan was talking about in the keys. Chadwick's pretty slippery back there, and if you don't get him with first contact, he can make some things happen. It's a good job of Bird to come through and clean that up and make the tackle for loss.
Megan Scolio, the third member of our crew, down on the field. A lot of celebrities here tonight, including Nebraska defensive coordinator Bob Diaco out recruiting. Scott Strohmeyer, head football coach at Iowa Western. I'll talk to him at halftime. He's here as well. Sidelines are packed. The defensive interior is packed for the Thunderbirds. 14-0 and a whistle before the snap. And a penalty or a timeout. Nope. Delay of game on Burke. They did not get the timeout in. Here at John Fineman Field, there is play clocks that are in the end zone. You don't see that at every high school venue we go to. Tyler Chadwick was staring right at it, and it went from 25-0. That pushes the Bulldogs back 5 yards. Paul Lamanji couldn't get the timeout in. Now it is 3rd down and goal from the 9-yard line.
Yeah, it's not a terrible penalty. You're probably going to throw the ball anyway. Actually gives you a little more room to the back of the end zone.
Chadwick mishandled it. Now he has to scramble. Throws it up into the back of the end zone. Jump ball! And it is incomplete. Hickman went up to try and grab it at 6'6", but he was surrounded by defenders and couldn't come down with it, and his 4th down and goal.
Yeah, he's asking for a pass interference call right here, and he's still asking for it right now, walking off the field. Almost a disaster from the opening snap, and then Chadwick just has to heave it towards the back of the end zone. And there was some early contact there. I think Hickman still had a chance to catch the ball. You certainly could have seen it go either way.
Chadwick went the first 6 games without throwing an interception, then threw 3 against Omaha North. They will go for it on 4th down and goal, down 2 touchdowns. For the district championship tonight, Chadwick now under pressure, has to scramble away. Now he's still scrambling, looking to the end zone, fires to the end zone, wide open touchdown. Stephen Eloy found a seam, and he caught the ball as Chadwick kept the play alive.
Yeah, and there it is. That time, the slick running of Tyler Chadwick kept the play alive, and he found Eloy right in the middle of the end zone. Well done, Tyler Chadwick. Just slips out of that tackle, and Eloy, way to keep it alive on the scramble drill, just finds a little bit of space. Bulldogs back within a score now.
19th touchdown of the year as Jason Gutierrez is out. The left-footed kicker. I was thinking baseball. Both these schools have been very good in that sport. Gutierrez splits the uprights, and Burke gets a much-needed score as Eloy with the touchdown reception, and it's 14-7. That on 4th down and goal.
How about it? Huge drive for the Bulldogs. You don't want to give Bellevue West a chance to go up 3 scores in this one. Really needed points out of this drive. Got a couple of nice runs from Burks early on before the quarter break. And the real story of the drive, though, is Davis. Darnell Davis put together some good work on this drive to get the Bulldogs down inside the 10-yard line. And then that man, Chadwick, using that escapability to keep the play alive.
If you're just tuning in, Bellevue West took the opening kickoff 15 yards down the field, or 15 plays down the field, I beg your pardon, put in the end zone. Jadalenchek with a touchdown, and then on the ensuing kickoff, a muff. Bellevue West recovered. A couple of plays later, they were in the end zone. And Burke gets a much-needed score, now 14-7, with 8:27 to go in the first half. Iowa Western head coach Scott Strohmeyer will join me at halftime. The Reavers #1 now in the junior college ranks. And here's a short kickoff from Burke. Not much of a return. There is a great fear, as John alluded to in the first quarter, the speed and the ball being returned 100 yards or less.
Yeah, both teams showing a lot of respect to the opposing kick return unit and just popping that thing up to try and allow the coverage to get downfield in a hurry. After a punt on their last drive, Dalenchek and company come out and see if they can go back up by 2 scores here.
They'll start from the 34-yard line. 14 straight years in the playoffs for Bellevue West. They 2 years ago made the semifinals, lost to Millard North. Last year won the state title. Ducker maybe gets a yard. Running right over left tackle. Jamal Young with the stop. Bellevue West doesn't waste any time.
And Burke very committed to stopping the run here. They are putting a lot of bodies up near the line of scrimmage to try and shut down Javon Ducker.
Again, the lowest total on the board this year. The Bellevue West has scored 34 in a thrilling game that came down to the last second against Millard West. They won 34-28. Little toss to Ducker, and it was off from the start. It wasn't a real crisp toss to Ducker, and that allowed the Burke defense to get into the backfield, and they make a key stop, and now it's 3rd down and long.
An interesting thing about this offense is Joe Dolenchek is somewhat the offensive coordinator. The play comes in, he signals the protection and the direction that the play is going to go after he gets it from the sideline, and then he has complete freedom to change the play at the line depending on what he sees the defense do. You don't see that a lot at the high school level.
They're down at about 7. Trips to the bottom of your screen. Dolenchek throws it that way and over the head of Smith. And Burke, after putting a score on the board, they force Bellevue West into a 3-and-out. Dolenchek will stay on the field again. He is the punter for the T-Birds. Punts at an average about 34 yards per contest. This is a very young Bellevue West team. They had to replace 14 starters. At times this year, they have started 7 sophomores. John here in a moment will share just an amazing stat to tell you about the youth of this Bellevue West team. Dolenchek, a little bit of a rugby-style punt, and his punt will land out of bounds. They will mark it right at the 30-yard line. So Burke, their 3rd offensive possession tonight, they've started at their own 30, the 36 when they scored, and now the 30. But you were telling me before the game, all of this offense for Bellevue West, pretty much underclassmen.
63 touchdowns on the season, only 8 touchdowns scored by seniors. So that makes 55 touchdowns by underclassmen. That is amazing.
These are the teams that are in the fight for the wild card. 5 teams fighting for 3. Lincoln Southeast has already lost tonight. Southwest, Fremont, Papillion, La Vista, and Norfolk are left. Southwest and Fremont, if they win, they are in the final night of the regular season. 13 of the 16 spots in Class A were already filled. In Class B, there are 16 spots, 8 district winners, 8 wild cards. Burke now trying to get a drive together to tie the game. Burks pinballs his way for about a yard, leading the charge. David Shannon, among others. There were 4 T-Bird defenders that last week gave up 73 on the gang tackle.
Malik Rome, I'll tell you what, impressive early in this one with the physical play that he brings to this one. He's had a couple of big hits. He cleaned up James Burks on the back end of that play.
The defense went from a 3-4 alignment to a 4-2-5. Burke changing the play from the sidelines. Play clock at 2, play clock at 1, snap to Chadwick, and I think a timeout was taken. Timeout taken by Burke. 6:14 to go in the first half. Bellevue West leading Omaha Burke 14-7. The winner is the district champ. It's game time on YurView.
At DiVentures, we want to create a full-service customer experience. Cox Business, as our technology partner, does exactly that. The team at Cox Business came in, took a look at our business, and recommended top-notch solutions. With IP-Centrics, we have a managed, scalable solution to meet all of our customer needs. We get hundreds of phone calls a day, thousands over the course of a week. Because we have Cox Business, we can focus on what we love to do, being on the water and in the water.
Where will the next generation of caregivers come from? Who trains them? Who mentors them? Who inspires them? At CHI Health, we believe in the power of education. As partners with Creighton University, we are advancing a new era of academic health care. We're researching and collaborating to bring more minds to every case, every patient, every day. We're giving the future of care a new home. CHI Health. Imagine that.
That is the Bellevue West student section. That'd be the Creative Arts Department. Burke and Bellevue West last year. Bellevue West won this game 45-41. This is the Iowa Western game of the week on the final night of the regular season. Burke, after trailing by 2 touchdowns, they have the football on 2nd down and 9. Midway through the second quarter, miscommunication in the backfield on the Wildcat, and the snap, and Davis is hauled down in the backfield.
There's that man again, Malik Rome, coming through with the violence. Just does get Burks by the ankle, but boy, is he sudden when he makes his move.
That was out of the timeout. They called the Wildcat play. As Davis out of the Wildcat, miscommunication went the wrong way, and then there was no way he was going to get away from the speed of Rome. Seems odd to look out on the field, this Bellevue West defense, and Malcolm Lee is not out there playing. He's playing now at Iowa Western. He was one of the stalwarts of the defense last year that only allowed 6 points to Omaha North in the Class A final. Flags are down. It's going to be a penalty on Burke. Much to the dismay of the Burke coaching staff, they couldn't get lined up correctly.
There's been numerous problems so far with the Burke offense. They have had trouble lining up. They're not getting the play in, not getting the play off in time. Just need to settle down a little bit, get the play in quickly, and let it happen.
Paul Lamanji has never won a state title in 12 years. Lost to Lincoln Southeast in the final in 2011. 3rd down and very long for the Burke Bulldogs. The blitz is coming. Chadwick steps up, runs right through the middle of it, headed downfield looking for 1st down. He's going to be about 2 yards short. Chadwick showed his escapability that we saw on the previous series when he eluded tacklers to throw the touchdown. He almost turned that into a 1st down run on 3rd and long.
Yeah, Shook comes on the middle linebacker blitz, and it just vacates the middle of the field. Chadwick recognizes it, sees the open space, and very nearly gets that 1st down. But now we're in decision territory for this Burke offense. You're down a score, you're across midfield, your defense has stepped up the last 2 possessions for Bellevue West. That's going to make it tough for Paul Lamanji and company to kick the ball away, you'd think.
And there is a late flag and a holding call on Burke. So erase what Chadwick's legs did on 3rd and long. That will push Burke back even further. Chadwick was the starter last year when Burke went 8-3. They lost in the quarterfinals to Lincoln East. The year before, this is a program that went 3-6 with a lot of young players. They begin the year preseason #1 for the first time since 1985. They lost their first game of the year to Omaha North 2 weeks ago. Won last week 30-0 against Lincoln North Star. They're down a touchdown, and now they are a long way away from a 1st down. This is a long drive down Highway 75 in Sarpy County. If Burke is to convert this 3rd down, they are all the way back at the 20-yard line. To get a 1st down, they have to get to Bellevue West 43-yard line. Joe Ziske will tell you that's 37 yards they need on 3rd down, and they're pretty conservative with Burks. As he cut to the outside, a little bit better position to punt, but what could have been on that drive for the Bulldogs will now start with end with a Tyler Collins punt.
Yeah, just too much procedurally going wrong for Burke to have any real success on that drive. And I mean, 3rd and 37 is no way to live your life if you're an offensive football team.
Tyler Collins in the punt. His 2nd punt of the night. And lets it go. And the fair catch. The 45-yard line by Evan Kaiser. Bellevue West offense went 3 and out their last time, and they're back out there with Joe Dolenchek. On this week's Over the Middle High School Football Recruiting Podcast, host Jeremy Crabtree talks with Kelly Underwood from ARM Software and gets us up to speed on the latest technology in the world of football recruiting. Plus, Jeremy poses some interesting questions about the Florida Gators and where the program seems to be headed. That's Over the Middle with Jeremy Crabtree on YurView.com. You can also subscribe to it on iTunes. So much great content on our website, YurView.com. You can also follow us along on Twitter. Interact with us tonight here in the booth. YurView OM. Trips to the top of your screen. Dalenchek, pump fake, looking deep, steps into the pocket. Now he's into trouble. Fires it downfield, and it was almost intercepted, and then it was almost caught. A collision by two Thunderbird wide receivers, and through all of that, it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, there's good things and bad things in this play. Joe Dalenchek's 220 pounds, which means he can stay upright in the pocket. The bad news is he made a poor decision on that throw. And James Burks probably should have a pick right there because Dalenchek really had no business throwing that football.
Dalenchek last year played the Class A final with a broken thumb. Promptly threw for 163 yards. Did a good job of handing off to Jalen Bradley. How good was he here? Ducker trying to follow his footsteps. Sidesteps multiple tacklers. And a 1st down carry to the 39. Give him some tap shoes.
You just, at some point, have to sit back and say, wow. I mean, look at this jump cut right there to get by one of the better players on that Burke defense, Darnell Davis. Just went right around him.
Ducker last week, 279 yards rushing against Westside. Dalenchek shotgun pass, caught near flat. That's Ducker, and he runs out of bounds, but not before he picks up 17.
This offense just puts you under so much stress as a defense because they will run players at you from all over. Ducker starts looking like he's going to run a slant and then comes all the way out to the flat after the clear out route comes in front of him. Beautiful play design and well executed.
3:47 to go in the first half. 14-7 Bellevue West. They scored their first 2 touchdowns of this game in a span of the first 17 plays. Took a turnover from Burke and put it in the end zone. That right now is the go-ahead touchdown. Burke has an equipment issue, so a player is sent off the field. So that's our delay. Halftime, we'll talk to Iowa Western head football coach Scott Strohmeyer, #1 in the junior college ranks. We'll hear the sounds of the fantastic Bellevue West band, stats, highlights, analysis, and more. Dalenchek looks over the 6-man front, checks his wide receivers to his right. Play action, zips it across the middle, and it's incomplete. That was a fastball that Joe Girardi would be proud of, but Smith could not hold on to it.
Yeah, that one I'm afraid is going to be on Shane Smith. He's in green pastures, really. Just nobody around him. Ball right in his midsection, and he can't pull it in.
Dalenchek and Smith have already hooked up once tonight. You see Dalenchek, John told you about it. He was kind of the de facto OC out there. He's a film room warrior. Calls out the signals. Handoff to Ducker, cutting the outside, cutting it back up, and near another 1st down. He is so shifty. And again, he's a sophomore.
Yeah, if this is your first time seeing Javon Ducker, are you not entertained? I mean, honestly, he is really, really good.
Let me ask the defensive staff next door where the Burke coaches are, and I'll get back to you, John. 14-7 and Bellevue West, the defending Class A champions.
Wildcat look.
Ducker. Ducker, touchdown. Wasn't going to go down. His 2nd touchdown of the night.
What do you say? I mean, honestly, we've said so much about Javon Ducker already. We're in the 2nd quarter, and what do you say? He's just really good and very young. Not a combination you get very often. I mean, look at this. He makes a great cut, runs through a couple of arm tackles, runs through a shoulder tackle on his way into the end zone.
He had a game earlier this year as the PAT is good. He had 202 yards in the first half against Norfolk. Ended up with 275. We mentioned he had 279 last week. He's got a 2nd touchdown, and it's 21-7, Bellevue West. This is an offense that, again, averages 484 yards per game. Playmakers in purple, and one in particular, this guy right here.
Yeah, this is the Javon Ducker drive. And riding the young warhorse, both on the ground and through the air. And then he finishes it off out of the Wildcat. Number 8 putting his stamp on this game early.
And his brother Tristan is at South Dakota, where Tyler Sherray, who was on this team last year, is the starting center for the Coyotes.
Yeah, Sherray was a kid who, a little bit baffling that he didn't get D1 offers. He was one of the best linemen in the state for 3 or 4 years and just never materialized, and now he's doing work at the FCS level.
On this kickoff, it's through the end zone, so with 3:05 to go, this sets up as a key drive for Burke. Points, yes, but do not give the football back to Bellevue West with time left on the clock.
Omaha North, 6. Millard West, 21. Lincoln High, 7.
Millard West leading Lincoln High 21-7. The Lynx are 8-0. Brody Belt is running wild in Class A this year. So is James Burks, as he lunges for a couple of extra yards.
The safeties are such a key part of this 4-2-5 defense for Bellevue West. And Howell, Rome, and Koenigsman, who made the tackle on that last play, they've all got to be so active in helping out with the run game.
It's a defense that gave up 73 last year. They've held Burke to 1 touchdown. Play action fake. The pass on the near side caught, and extra yardage gained, and a good job by Xavier Watts. Caught the ball, cut it upfield, and eluded a couple of tacklers, and he gets a first down. And that's a good quick play call, and it seemed like a pretty safe play call for Omaha Burke.
Well, they haven't gotten Watts involved yet in this game, and he is leading receiver for them on the season. So a good play to get him involved, and just another weapon at their disposal.
Good basketball player as well. Now Chadwick chased out of the pocket, has a lot of time, slings it down the field, and it is incomplete. Stephen Eloy was in front of the intended wide receiver Watts, and Eloy was wide open. He was hollering at Chadwick, but he never saw him. And it'll be 2nd down and 10 now.
And Chadwick has been running for his life a little bit tonight. This T-Bird defense has done a good job, even without Jalen Powell, the leader on the defensive line, to put pressure on Chadwick tonight.
Chadwick, quick toss again to Watts. Steps out of bounds, stops the clock, and he'll have another first down. So they go back to that play, and then a late flag. Watts was getting the extra business on the sidelines. It'll be a personal foul on the T-Birds. So add 15 onto the completion to Watts with exactly 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Well, that's just a silly mental error. It's really going to hurt the effort here for this Bellevue West defense, but a nice break for the Burke offense. Give themselves a few extra yards, and here you see another little play just to get Watts involved, and he gets over the boundary there and gets slammed to the turf a little bit. That aggressiveness that we've talked about from Malik Rome gets the better of him on that play.
District A1 showdown after the personal foul. They place the ball at the 41-yard line. Hickman in motion. Been quiet tonight, really on offense and defense. Play action. Chadwick looking deep down the field for Watts. Caught it. Touchdown. He outran the defense, and Chadwick hit him with a pass in stride. That's a 41-yard score.
It looked like this offensive possession, there was more of an emphasis to try and get Watts involved, and right there he just ran by the entire defensive backfield, and Chadwick threw him a dart. Absolutely beautiful throw from Tyler Chadwick, and no chance of anybody catching Xavier Watts. 41 yards, a big score right before the break.
Chadwick with his 2nd touchdown pass of the night. 20 on the season. Watts has been on 7 of those. And Gutierrez is in to cut the T-Bird lead to a touchdown. 21-14. as Burke responds, aided by that personal foul penalty, but also aided by a nice pass from the junior quarterback, Tyler Chadwick.
That was one heck of a throw. It's certainly the best throw Chadwick has made all night tonight after he's been chased around the pocket. Had a nice clean throwing lane, set up and fired that baby downfield, and Watts ran underneath it.
Now Chadwick, even though he threw 3 interceptions against Omaha North, he threw for 144 yards on Class A's #1 team in the first quarter. And that was a game where Omaha North, their ground and pound, really caused issues, but Burke also had some key mistakes in that game. They responded last week with a 30-0 win over North Star, and they get a key answer to Bellevue West touchdown to cut it to 7. They actually have left a little bit of time on the clock for Joe Dolenchek and the T-Bird offense. Minute 54 to go. We anticipate another short kickoff, and with the wind out of the south-southeast gusting up to 25 miles an hour, the football comes off the tee. And placing it back down will be Matthew Wright, who handles the kickoff duties for the Bulldogs. Jason Gutierrez is the place kicker. 21-14. Winner gets the district in a better spot in the postseason. Another short kickoff and a fair catch is called for. Bellevue West 70 yards away with a minute 54 to go in the first half.
And that's not too far for them to go.
Nope.
We will see what Joe Dolenchek and company dial up here. The last drive was all about Javon Ducker. We'll see if they can get Xavier Betts involved on the outside in this one.
5-man front, the 2 ends standing for Burke. Handoff to Ducker, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. And the big fella making a tackle. That's Justin Clark Wagner.
Yeah, he really makes this play. He's not going to get credited with the tackle, but really forces that play.
Dolenchek heaves it down the field for Betts, and he makes the catch.
Holy moly. What body control by Xavier Betts to locate that football, spinning and falling down and pull it in. Oh my goodness.
42 yards, most of it in the air, as Betts, the sophomore, puts his big paws on it. And now Bellevue West is thinking a score with a minute 29 to go. They have all 3 timeouts remaining. Dolenchek for the end zone, and he overthrew Smith.
Oh, he had Smith too. Smith had come open on the outside, and Dolenchek just released it a little bit high.
This offense scored 62 last week. They scored 62 the week before. 73 3 weeks ago. We've seen such a great line of quarterbacks here. Most recently, Jaden Kowalski, who threw in 2014 for 599 yards in a game against Prep. Dolenchek will throw it here, and Betts couldn't handle it. And a lot of bodies in the same area.
Yeah, they were trying to set up that little tunnel screen again, and it seems like so far Betts has struggled with the routine and excelled at the spectacular.
Betts has already taken an unofficial visit to Iowa State, took in the Cyclone Hawkeye game back in September. 3rd down and 10. Snap back to Dolenchek. Little shuffle pass is knocked away. It's an incomplete pass. On the shuffle pass, it's incomplete. They are marking it not as an incomplete pass.
That's the wrong call. That's an incomplete pass. That's the wrong call.
Mike Huffman is irate on the sidelines. Now, the officiating crew together, that was clearly a shuffle pass that should be an incomplete pass. It's a safe play, because if you don't complete it, it is incomplete. And there's a lot of confusion. As you see Mike Huffman, he's trying to get an explanation, and now they change it. Good job by the officiating crew. They got together, they made the right decisions. But now it is 4th down and 10 with a minute 12 to go in the first half.
Xavier Betts to the bottom of your screen, 6'3" wide receiver. Keep an eye on him. Pressure may come up the middle, those two linebackers.
Dalenchek, empty backfield, 5 wide receivers in the pattern. Dalenchek steps up, throws it across the middle, and it is caught. And it is a first down. Evan Kaiser makes the catch. This drive started with 1:54 to go after Burke got the touchdown, and now into the red zone. Timeout taken by Bellevue West as Dalenchek just fired it across the middle as Kaiser made a good catch. Looking for a new career? You can explore our programs in business, health, and technology. Get going today on your career path by visiting iwcc.edu. Iowa Western, the world is waiting.
Hey, Scott Strohmeyer's waiting for you, Gary.
He is. He's out here recruiting tonight. The #1 team in junior college ranks. They play at home tomorrow in Council Bluffs. Minute 6 now to go. Burke got to put up a wall on the goal line because Bellevue West has driven all the way down the field from their own 30. 21-14. Bellevue West jumped out to a 14-0 lead midway through the first quarter. Again, 5 wide receivers, couple men in motion. Ducker comes into the backfield behind Dalenchek. Play call, plenty of time. Play clock, plenty of time. 15 seconds left on that. From the 12-yard line, Dalenchek. Hand off to Ducker, running left inside of the 10 before he is brought down. Clock continues to run. Now second down. T-Birds can get a first down. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Dalenchek now shifts out of the backfield and they go to the Wildcat. Ducker in the shotgun. Man in motion. Ducker takes the snap, works off a block, and he is brought down to the backfield again. The big fellow. Justin Clark Wagner with the tackle for loss. Timeout taken by Bellevue West. And they'll look at a third down with 35 seconds remaining in the first half.
Yeah, excellent play as you call him, the big fella, 6 foot 2 inch, 305 pounder, Justin Clark Wagner, to deny a third touchdown.
Interested in an exciting career in media studies? Check out the opportunities in TV, radio, and sports promotions at Iowa Western. Visit iwcc.edu. Iowa Western, the world is waiting. A.J. Forbes, the talented offensive lineman for Bellevue West, he would like to get into media studies. He is the editor-in-chief of the school newspaper here at Bellevue West. He's 57 right there in the middle of your screen. 4-year starter. Has attention from the Air Force Academy, Northwest Missouri State, Minnesota State. Reese Morgan, the defensive line coach from Iowa, stopped into Bellevue West last week to inquire about A.J. Forbes. 3rd down and 8. Dalenchek looks over to the defense. Counts 9 in the box. Dalenchek, play action, he's hit. His pass is incomplete. He got hammered by Hickman. And the pass floated away as Dalenchek grabs his throwing arm. It is 4th down. Clock stops, 31 seconds to go.
That was an all-out blitz by the Burke defense, and there was just no time to get rid of it.
4th down and 8. Timeout taken by Burke. The Bulldogs want to set their defense as they got a quick look at the Bellevue West offensive set. As you get a look at Joe Dalenchek, and he got hit hard. He's trying to little funny bone action with that right throwing arm. The trainer will come over and say, "You okay?" And he says, I played in the state final last year with a broken thumb. Yes, I'm okay.
He's a tough customer, there's no doubt. And you're going to see on this hit, he gets just drilled right on the elbow. Big hit came in from the outside right there. It was Tyler Collins who got him with the helmet right on the elbow, and that stings. It doesn't hurt as bad as when it's colder temps out, but no doubt.
As you wrote in your story on YurView.com about Joe Dalenchek, he had the broken thumb last year that he played in the state final against Omaha North with, and Bellevue West won that game 43-6. But his parents and the doctor said, "We don't want you to play."
Yeah, they were afraid that it would do long-term damage if he didn't, if he got hit the wrong way or something. And he said, well, this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I'm playing.
4th down and 8. 31 seconds to go in the first half. T-Birds up by a touchdown. Dalenchek play action pass to the end zone's incomplete. It was there. Smith had a step. He had an opportunity. And Burke holds. They'll get the football and they'll run out the clock here in the first half.
This is, I'm not sure, but I think Collins might have got a hand in there just on the shoulder pad to perhaps distract Smith slightly. He didn't get a hand on the ball or anything, but perhaps did just enough to throw it off.
Burke comes up big defensively all the way into the red zone, and they get a 4th down stop, and then they'll take a knee and they'll let the clock run out, and we will head to halftime. Bellevue West 21, Omaha Burke 14. Stay tuned. Lots coming up at halftime. Next, I'll chat with Iowa Western head football coach Scott Strohmeyer. This is Game Time on YurView. Halftime 21-14. Bellevue West leads Burke.
Tightly played first half. And wow, what a big drive at the end of that half for Burke to hold at the 10-yard line to deny Bellevue West a touchdown to go up 2 scores heading into the break. That could prove vital as we head down the stretch in this one. Burke offense found a little bit of a rhythm there in the second quarter. A couple of touchdowns. Of course, big one to Xavier Watts, 41-yarder that made it 21-14 after the inauspicious start. A fumble and then a punt the first 2 drives for Burke, but can't say enough about Javon Ducker and the performance he's turned in so far. A couple of touchdowns on the ground and doing it in impressive fashion so far. Could be a whale of a second half coming up. We're going to get down to the field with Megan. She's got Mike Huffman.
Coach, what did you think of your offensive performance in that half?
You know, it wasn't too shabby against a good Burke team. I wish we could have finished that last drive. Obviously, you want to get points anytime you can. But I think if we continue to do what we're doing, stay on some blocks a little bit longer, and then catch some balls that we're throwing. We've got a lot of drops this first half. I think the second half will be all right.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you very much, Megan. Thank you very much, Coach Huffman. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with the halftime festivities here on Game Time on YurView, the Iowa Western Game of the Week.
When kids have internet access at home, they're more successful in the classroom. If your child is a K-12 student and your family receives government assistance, you could qualify for discounted Cox high-speed internet for only $9.95 a month. To enroll, call 855-222-3252 or visit cox.com/C2C. And while you're there, check out the Cox Digital Academy for educational tools and web tips for the whole family.
Okay, it's decision time. I want flexibility, more doing, hands-on experience, and working sooner. I gotta make a choice. I want to get started now. Find your path at iwcc.edu and get hands-on real-world experience. Start now at Iowa Western.
Bouncy ball. Look, it's almost alive. Advertising used to be simple. Make an ad, put it on TV, get results. Today, with all the new viewing options, it's a lot more complex. At Cox Media, we make the complex simple. With precise targeting, transparency, and automation, we connect advertisers to audiences. Anyone, anywhere, on any screen. Advertising simplified. Contact Cox Media to learn more.
Halftime 21-14, Bellevue West leads Omaha Burke. Welcome back. I'm Gary Sharp, joined by Iowa Western football coach Scott Strohmeyer, the head coach of the #1 ranked Reavers. 6-1 so far. Been an interesting year. Strange things happen in junior college football, but you go from not being highly ranked to being ranked to a 1 loss, and all of a sudden you're back to top.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. You know, we started off, we had high expectations, and you have one speed bump there, and like I told the team, we got one mulligan, and luckily we're back in it. We lost at the right time, and now we just got to one game at a time and see where it takes us.
Tomorrow night you get Highland at home over at Council Bluffs Lewis Central. The game, due to the weather, has been pushed back to 6 o'clock. So you're number 1. Last week we're number 2. Do you say much to guys about watching out for yourself?
Well, for sure, we do point that out. But, you know, I think that at the end of the day, you have to take care of what's ahead of you and, you know, don't get caught up. The kids look at it. We all know they do. And but you have to try to bring them back down and, you know, hey, it's a one game. You don't take care of business this Saturday, don't matter where you're at.
Now, I know your number 1 priority was to stop by and to chat with me tonight, but you're also out here doing a little recruiting. What are you in particular looking for when you're out and about in the metro area?
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, you see these kids on film and you know they're really talented, and, you know, I have a lot of respect for both programs here and really in Omaha and the metro area. There's a lot of good coaches, a lot of good players, but it's always nice to see them, how they handle themselves, not only when they're on the field playing in their highlights, but how they handle them after, once they get on the sidelines, and just the type of tempo that they play with. So any more evaluation you can get is good, because all we really have is film.
And you have a talented player off of last year's Bellevue West team in Malcolm Lee.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's really playing well, and obviously won a state championship last year, and that's one of the things we always look for is guys who know how to win, what it takes to win, and he's come in. He probably had his best game as a Reaver last week, really coming into his own, and we're really excited of what he can do the remaining of the year and then also next year.
You've already been you've been the head coach at Iowa Western since day number 1. You've already won a championship, and I know you get asked this a lot. Your program has been highly successful, but the other athletic programs have been good as well at Iowa Western. What's the key?
Well, I'll tell you what, you need an unbelievable support from administration, number 1, and if you get that from our president, Dr. Kinney, and I mean, that understands what athletics can bring to a school is amazing, and you need that no matter what type of resources you have, but you need a supportive administration for sure.
You also need facilities, and your team just moved into a beautiful brand new locker room.
I'll tell you what, we're going to have the nicest facility in any junior college in the country. Brand new state-of-the-art locker room, offices, meeting rooms. I mean, our kids, you know, they got to enjoy it. But at the same time, it's going to help us in a lot of ways of making our kids and helping them learn and study the game and a lot of different things. But I'll tell you what, it's pretty impressive.
Stro, thanks for stopping by. Good luck tomorrow night.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's Iowa Western football coach Scott Strohmeyer. The Reavers are number 1. You can find out more about their program and everything else going on in the athletic department at GoReavers.com. We're back with more at halftime. 21-14, Bellevue West leads Burke. It's game time on YurView, the Iowa Western game of the week.
You're the decision maker, weighing every option to make the smartest choice. That's why you start with Nebraska Medicine, an entire network of top providers working together to keep you healthy. From extraordinary primary care to world-leading research and treatments, so you can be confident everyone's health is in good hands. The state's most comprehensive care in 19 locations. Nebraska Medicine.
Charles Drew selected Cox Business because in the healthcare arena, it is imperative that we have transfer of data that is reliable, flexible, and fast. On average, Charles Drew Health Center has about 33,000 phone calls a month. With IP-Centrics, the system was very intuitive, and it allowed us to be reactionary to the needs of our patients. Cox Business Solutions has allowed us to be more efficient and effective in meeting the needs of the greater Omaha community. Cox Business is a great partner.
Okay, it's decision time. I want to take classes I need, spend less time working to pay for them. I want flexibility to transfer my credits. I want to get started now. Find your path at iwcc.edu and get hands-on, real-world experience. Start now at Iowa Western.
Right back here, Bellevue West High School, where the T-Birds lead at 21-14 over Omaha Burke. We are at the half, and that means marching band is on the field. The Marching Thunderbirds. Let's take a listen.
At Woodhouse Auto Family, the buying experience is different, and the over 27,000 customers who bought from us last year know why. Our knowledgeable sales staff know the brands, the products, and take time to get to know you and guide you to your perfect vehicle. And that experience continues with any of our 16 service locations, and with trained advisors and technicians to help you maintain your vehicle. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse.
When kids have internet access at home, they're more successful in the classroom. If your child is a K-12 student and your family receives government assistance, you could qualify for discounted Cox high-speed internet for only $9.95 a month. To enroll, call 855-222-3252 or visit cox.com/C2C. And while you're there, check out the Cox Digital Academy for educational tools and web tips for the whole family.
Of caregivers come from, who trains them, who mentors them, who inspires them. At CHI Health, we believe in the power of education. As partners with Creighton University, we are advancing a new era of academic health care. We're researching and collaborating to bring more minds to every case, every patient, every day. We're giving the future of care a new home. CHI Health. Imagine that.
It is halftime, 21-14. Bellevue West leads Burke. The sounds of the Bellevue West band, award-winning band, one of the largest in the state, putting on a heck of a performance on senior night here at John Fineman Field. The hometown team is up a touchdown. Had a chance at the end, but Burke kept Bellevue West out of the end zone in the waning seconds, which sets up for a very intriguing second half. Remember, last year was 45-41. Bellevue West is coming off a game in which they lost 73-62. It's been defense has shown up a little bit. You'll see some defensive highlights here.
Well, early on, that first drive from Bellevue West was pretty impressive. Went 15 plays, 80 yards, and converted 4 third downs. None of them were third and short, really. And then it was finished off with a great move by Shane Smith to get to the outside and punch it across. Then you had this little mishap where Davis drops the kickoff. T-Birds recover a couple of plays later. A nice little pass out in the flat to Keyser. And then Javon Ducker, first of his 2 touchdowns in that first half. He had 105 yards on the ground on 17 carries. Bulldogs would have a chance to answer, and they got Darnell Davis involved, needing to put some points on the board as they had fallen behind 2 scores. And it was Tyler Chadwick escaping the rush, heaving it downfield. Stephen Eloy, middle of the end zone on the scramble drill, made it 14-7. Bulldogs were back in it. T-Birds would have to punt a couple of times, but they would find their rhythm in that second quarter on a drive that featured heavily the sophomore running back, Javon Ducker. They handed it off to him, they threw it to him, and he took the snap and took the final play into the end zone. Second touchdown of the half for him. Bulldogs, though, had an answer. And this time, it was Xavier Watts getting involved. Looked like some specific play designs to get him into the game as he hadn't been heard from yet. And there's the big one, 41 yards from Chadwick to Watts, 21-14. And that's how the score would stay, even though this great catch from Xavier Betts on the other end put the T-Birds in striking distance, but on 4th down, Smith couldn't haul it in. Big stand there right before the half by that Bulldog defense.
Let's take a look at some of these stats. John just mentioned Javon Ducker, 105 yards on the ground of the 164, picked up by, or 98, picked up by Bellevue West.
Yeah, you got the negative rush.
1 turnover, that was the muffed kickoff that turned into points, and that's the difference right now. Other than that, there were moments of could have had some breakout plays, but also been some pretty good defensive stops here tonight as well.
Yeah, it's, you know, it hasn't been the offensive explosion quite like we thought it might be, particularly on the Burke side. They've had to throw the ball more, which is a bit surprising. We kind of thought that they would come in and just ride James Burks off into the sunset, and he hasn't had much room.
Some people don't like the word, but balanced is what Burke has been this year. But Chadwick, 110 yards passing, and James Burks, who had 250 the last time he was on Game Time, just 28 here today. 21-14, Bellevue West leads Burke. Second half kickoff is coming up momentarily. This is the Iowa Western Game of the Week.
Bouncy ball. Look, it's almost alive. Advertising used to be simple. Make an ad, put it on TV, get results. Today, with all the new viewing options, it's a lot more complex. At Cox Media, we make the complex simple. With precise targeting, transparency, and automation, we connect advertisers to audiences. Anyone, anywhere, on any screen. Advertising simplified. Contact Cox Media to learn more.
Okay, it's decision time. I want to experience a 4-year college in 2 years. I want to live on campus, but get to my career faster. I want to get started now. Find your path at iwcc.edu and get hands-on, real-world experience. Start now at Iowa Western.
All of our registration systems and the staff systems are based in the cloud, so it's important that our internet connectivity is up all the time. To me, it was clear as soon as we met with Cox Business, they were going to listen to what we needed and design a solution for what was going to be best for us. Having Cox Business as our one provider has allowed us to more easily manage our daily processes. If anything happens or if there's anything I need changed, it's just a phone call or an email away.
Before the second half kickoff, here's Megan Scolio with Burke head coach Paul Lamanji.
All right, Coach, Javon Ducker kind of gave you guys some trouble in that first half. How do you shut him down in the second?
Yeah, they got a lot of weapons on that side of the football. We just got to keep doing what we're doing. We got to get off blocks a little better, keep our linebackers free, get some, you know, better hands on, and just tackle, make plays.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Paul Lamanji, just one of 3 head coaches at Burke High since 1969. Mike Huffman, the head coach of Bellevue West, is an alum of Burke and actually was a former defensive coordinator under the Burke Bulldogs. Paul Lamanji now in his 12th season, 75-48. And Burke will get the football to begin the second half. Down a touchdown. Let's get a good look at the Bulldogs. Both of these teams have already qualified for the playoffs. Now it's all about seeding. The team coming in tonight that was #1, Omaha North, trails at Lincoln Pius X, 21-14.
And that's pretty shocking right now.
These are the current point totals. Top 16 get into the postseason. Papillion La Vista is leading Fremont. That's a big game. Fremont 15, Papillion La Vista 18. Millard North trying to get above 500. They lead Millard South tonight in a battle of Millard. It's that time of the year,
It's
John.
that time of
Fred
year.
Petito's got the Mustangs turned in the right direction.
It always seems like kind of no matter how they start through the first 4, the last 5, they just turn it on. And, you know, they struggled with some injuries, had some players out, had young players. But, you know, those players are almost a full season deep into their careers now.
Check on Monday on YurView.com. We will have our first playoff game 1 week from tonight for you. A matchup of Metro teams. Tonight we're in Sarpy County. Bellevue West, the defending Class A champions, up by a touchdown. The week after their 20-game winning streak came to an end. They are 7-1. Burke is 7-1. In the current rankings, Bellevue West is ranked #8. Burke in the current rankings ranked #3. And the Bulldogs will get the football to begin the second half. And We are underway. Game time on YurView, the Iowa Western game of the week, and the automatic touchback into the end zone. You cannot take a ball out of the end zone. That'll give the Bulldogs first possession of the second half of the 20-yard line. We saw the offense start to get a little bit of a rhythm, and it was more or less on some quick out passes to the boundary from Tyler Chadwick to Xavier Watts.
Well, the running game has just not been there tonight. 10 carries, 34 yards for the guy who we expected to carry the mail in James Burks, and got to do something running the football here.
Burks coming in, one of the top rushers in Class A, and this will not add to his total. He was caught up in the backfield and could not escape at all. Hayes got a piece of him, leading the trio of Thunderbirds, who have been much better defensively tonight. 73 points they allowed last week. They've just given up 2 touchdowns here tonight. Koningsman as well on the stop. He's had a good night from his linebacker spot. 5-man front. Man in motion for the Bulldogs. And now Chadwick chased out of the pocket on the run, tosses it into the flat. It is caught, and Watts diving for a first down. It's going to be awful close.
Again, Chadwick, he sees pressure in his face and has to come running. That front four for the T-Birds has done a nice job of getting penetration, forcing Chadwick off the spot.
Was enough for a first down, just underway in the third quarter. Winner is the district champion. They get a much better playoff seed. Like to avoid Omaha North until Lincoln if you're able to get there. Lead handoff for Burks, spinning out to the 35 for a pickup of 5. It's been tough sledding for Burks tonight. But you get that feeling, though, John, a 3-4 yard carry in the third quarter could be a 7, 8, 9 plus yard carry in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and one thing that Bellevue West has done a really nice job of against James Burks is not letting him run through contact, which we saw him do so many times in that game against Westside. They've really done a nice job of being sure tacklers against the tough running back here tonight.
Here's the state champion wrestler 2-time, and he spins his way for a first down.
Malik Rome again in on the tackle, but this is a couple of the best runs that Burks has had all night long.
Burks last year, limited duty, ran for 397 yards. Coming into tonight, 1,048. Fresh set of downs for Tyler Chadwick. Play action fake. Lots of time in the pocket. Now he's pressured out of the pocket on the run, turning, and he eludes one defender, keeps it, and he makes something out of nothing. Because he could have gone down in the backfield for a major loss, but he's able to pick up 3 yards.
Yeah, and at some point, Tyler Chadwick has to get rid of the ball just a little bit sooner. He had decent protection and then didn't keep his eyes downfield. Coverage was pretty good on the back end, and you just have to be more decisive. I mean, it was a good job to get something when it looked like nothing was in the cards.
Second down and 7. Here's Burks for 2.
You have to give credit to this offensive staff for Burke, knowing what they need to do and not getting into a panic as the running game hasn't really worked. 28 yards in the first half. They've stuck with it, and even though it's, kind of grinded to a halt there in the first half, it's starting to open up a little bit here in the second.
Key third down and 5. Chadwick takes his time. Play clock at 10. 4-man rush. Handoff to Burks with blockers in front. James Burks has got a first down just across midfield. That second effort where he dove through the hole gets the first down.
It's going to be close, Gary. They're going to call it, but that spot was very close.
Good job out blocking Zach Tatum. Burks followed his blocker. And the Burke drive to begin the second half continues. nearly 4 minutes old. They've traveled from their own 20-yard line, now a yard into T-Bird territory. Chadwick play action pass. It's not there. Now he has to scramble, protects the football like it's his firstborn. It's a couple of yards.
Just great job by this front four again to Bellevue West not really bringing pressure, sitting back in coverage, and the front four able to move Chadwick and force him to scramble and you know, for all intents and purposes, waste it down.
Trips to the top of your screen. Chadwick checks him. Play action. Again, chased out of the pocket on the run. Throws it deep down the field. And it is incomplete. And an interception is saved by the wide receiver, Eloy.
Yeah, it certainly should have been picked. And if Eloy's not coming back for the football and colliding with the defensive back, this is an interception, no doubt.
Chadwick, who's only thrown 4 of them, that was very close to being the 5th.
Gannon Spahn, who's been beaten a couple of times tonight.
And a flag late on the play, holding on Burke. Mike Huffman elects to push the Bulldogs back.
And we saw early in the second quarter here when the Bulldogs got themselves in penalty trouble and had a 3rd and 37 situation. Not too far from another one right here.
Lamanji says it's only 2nd down. So they correct the down marker. Chadwick on the screen. His pass is completed, but it is into a trio of purple shirts. He found his guy, Burks, but he couldn't find any breathing room.
Yeah, Matt Thompson not fooled one bit. They teach you as a defensive lineman when the blocker just lets you go by, you stop and wait because the screen pass is coming.
3rd down and very long. They've got to get to the 39-yard line of the T-Birds. 5 minutes and churning into the second half. 21-14. Bellevue West leads Omaha Burke for the district championship. Handoff to Burks, cutting, stopping, and tackled at the 45-yard line. Well, he slammed on the brakes and tried to then put it back into drive, and he was hauled down from behind. So it gets a little bit more room for the punters. That's one of Burks' longest runs of the night.
Well, that's excellent pursuit from this Bellevue West defense to stay with the play even though it's gone by. You never know what's going to happen. You have to be optimistic and always feel like you're going to get back into it. Good pursuit from that T-Bird defense.
Collins will put a foot into it. The snap is low. He has time, though. He picks it up and sends it away into the wind. And it hit a Bellevue West player. It is loose on the field and recovered by the T-Birds. You see the scrum going on, and now the officials are trying to pull everybody apart. The wind took that punt from Collins, went off a Thunderbird, and then the scramble drill was on, and Bellevue West is very fortunate. They've already recovered a muffed kickoff earlier in the game in almost the same spot. Burke almost got karma back on their side, and Bellevue West is now out on the field for the first time offensively here in the second half.
Yeah, and it looked like Bellevue West players didn't even know where the football was.
Joe Dolenchek, state champion quarterback. Quick handoff into the midsection of Ducker, cutting to his right. For a quick pickup of about 7 yards. Ducker 105 yards in that first half time.
You see the difference in offensive line play. This Bellevue West offensive line is moving bodies out of the way, and Ducker is just picking and choosing where he wants to run.
You got a 4-year starter in A.J. Forbes and a multi-year starter in Tyler Reynolds. Burke may have been offside. Quick pass to Smith out near in midfield. He catches it this time. Pushed out of bounds. A little late. No flag follows. It is enough for a first down. The Omaha North transfer who has a touchdown tonight.
Getting everybody involved on this offense. T-Birds love to spread it around, and they feel like they have enough weapons that they can put the ball just about anywhere.
A great job of branding their program. Playmakers in purple. Dalenchek threw it to Betts as he was going down, threw it behind Betts. They're going to say Betts was down back at the 49-yard line. So Dalenchek, very uncharacteristic play here.
Little run pass option play. And, you know, when you're in the grasp like that as a quarterback, you've just got to know better. Just go down, take your lumps, reset for another down. Don't put your team in a position where you're potentially turning the ball over.
Second down and 11. Thunderbirds have the football. They're up a touchdown. They've led throughout tonight. Dalenchek, quick pass out into the flat. It is incomplete. Well, a little quick game. If it's completed, there is some room to run along the boundary. But it is incomplete, and now it is third down and 11.
Yeah, it hasn't been the sharpest game from Joe Dalenchek tonight. He's left some high, thrown some out in front. Just going to need to settle in a little bit here for the second half of this game.
Opened the year by throwing for 443 yards and 7 scores against Papio South. Last year, remember, he didn't start the year as the quarterback. Ended up throwing for over 2,800 yards and 25 touchdowns. Bad snap, tracks it down. Now he's under pressure, fires it down the field. It's incomplete. Smith, the wide receiver that was intended for it, falling down. And Burke with a good defensive stand. They will force another Bellevue West punt.
Yeah, just not very good from any phase of the game on those last couple of plays. Bad snap. Dalenchek fires one out. Receiver falls down. That one's not going to make the end of the year highlight tape.
Well, these teams hope their year continues for many more. 4 for Lincoln after tonight. Dalenchek punts it away. And it will bounce, and a good bounce for Bellevue West. That was with the wind. And it goes out of bounds to the 8-yard line, and that's where Burke will start their next drive. Down a score on the Iowa Western Game of the Week.
You're the decision maker, weighing every option to make the smartest choice. That's why you start with Nebraska Medicine, an entire network of top providers working together to keep you healthy. From extraordinary primary care to world-leading research and treatments, so you can be confident everyone's health is in good hands. The state's most comprehensive care in 19 locations. Nebraska Medicine.
When kids have internet access at home, they're more successful in the classroom. If your child is a K-12 student and your family receives government assistance, you could qualify for discounted Cox high-speed internet for only $9.95 a month. To enroll, call 855-222-3252 or visit cox.com/C2C. And while you're there, check out the Cox Digital Academy for educational tools and web tips for the whole family.
You ever tried that, John?
Goodness, no.
Milk before the cereal?
Heathens. You also not rinse your toothbrush before you use it? I mean, come on now.
Birdie and Pink is the Bellevue West student section. Their team is up 21-14. Always great support of the Bellevue West students for their classmates. What a performance at halftime by the band. That was a lot of fun on senior night there at John Fiman Field. 21-14, Bellevue West leads Burke. James Burks back on the attack. Sidesteps a man, and now he turns on the speed. He's into the open field. It's a foot race, and he's the man that's going to win it. Headed towards the end zone. Touchdown. He goes 91, and we're an extra point away from a tied game.
It only takes one. Just one defensive breakdown against a player like James Burks, and you will pay for it. 91 big yards for the touchdown right there. One player overruns the play, and it's the guy we've praised all night long. Malik Room overruns the play. Burks cuts up underneath him. And the forced player doesn't make the play, and Burks in for the score.
Gutierrez with a PAT to tie it. 21-21. Burks had been bottled up all night long until that run.
Impressive. It's the only word you can use to describe it. It's a commitment to running the football even when it's not working. And it worked really well on that last play.
Two-time state champion in wrestling, has a 49-3 record and 49-3 sound.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Last time I checked, that's a pretty high winning percentage.
The 91-yard touchdown run to tie it.
Gary, we got ourselves a game again.
The punt pinned him deep. And in one play, takes it to the house. Burks now 17 carries, 153 yards.
Number 18, Matthew Wright on the kick for the Bulldogs. Number 2, Evan Peasy.
Not entertained. John keeps reciting a favorite line from his favorite movie.
Hey, it's up there. If you're watching this one and you haven't risen to your feet a few times, you don't have a pulse.
So Matthew Wright will kick off into the wind. Look to see what the wind does to it, and the wind blows the ball off the tee once again. Next week is the first round of the playoffs. We will carry a to-be-determined game. Check on Monday on YurView.com. It'll be a game involving a couple of Metro teams. It'll be an intriguing matchup. We know that. It has been a class that has been predominantly taken over by Omaha area schools when it comes to the state title. They're going to call a penalty here on Burke. The ball went off the tee due to the wind, and a couple of the covermen overran it, and they called a penalty. Well, kind of, I guess, through 9 weeks of our season here on Game Time, we've seen a little bit of everything. And Paul Lamanji, that's in his 12 years as the head coach. It's probably the first time he's seen something like that. So a little short kickoff into the wind, and a fair catch is called. And at the 35-yard line, Bellevue West will start. There was contact, but it was accidental. And in a 21-21 game, here comes the Bellevue West offense. Mike Huffman wants a 15-yard penalty. Now you know it is really, really ratcheted up. And there is a discussion here. It appeared to be incidental contact. Cameron Coleman was the cover man and just bumped the receiver, and it's nothing. So here we go after the Burks 91-yard touchdown run to tie it at 21. 4:22 to go in the third quarter. Mike Huffman coaching against his alma mater. Grew up in Northwest Omaha, right across the street from Damon Benning. Former Nebraska running back, assistant at Omaha North, then a local sports talk host.
How do you know that?
Listen to the show daily. There is a flag before the snap.
Did you say Joe Daly?
As offside on Burke. The wind whipping through the microphone. Carl Johnson, our referee, down on the floor of the field. It's picking up gusts up to 25, 30 miles an hour. A 5-yard penalty makes it 1st and 5. Dalenchek checks the sidelines, and Ducker goes from left hip to right hip. Three wide receivers, top of your screen. Betts, bottom of your screen. The talented sophomore runs a slant. Dalenchek throws it deep down the field, and it is incomplete. Kaiser and Davis, there was contact, there is no flag. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
You know what, Gary, and I haven't thought about it up to this point, and shame on me for doing so, but the wind right now at Dalenchek's back, and he's left some balls high going in this direction, and you know, you have to think that perhaps that is some of the cause. The one he threw out in front of Smith earlier, that one that sailed over the receiver's head. Just got to make a little adjustment to this wind now.
Again, it is the same formation as the previous down. They'll check the sidelines, and Mike Huffman will take a timeout. They were not on the same page from the start. So the 5th-year head coach, who will be one of the Shrine Bowl head coaches next summer in Kearney, the 60th edition of the Shrine Bowl, Mike Huffman will be on the sidelines. But he's talking to his offense, trying to come up with the right play in the 21-21 game. Iowa Western has the career choices that fit your busy schedule. Come to campus, study online, or enroll in evening classes now. Visit iwcc.edu. Iowa Western, the world is waiting. Mike Huffman, in preparation for today's game, got a knock on his door, opened it up, and there was Nebraska coach Mike Riley, who was in the Metro making some recruiting visits on his own, stopped at Omaha North, and then stopped here at Bellevue West. Why not? Loads of talent throughout the Metro. Nebraska's already offered 2 players on the Burke sideline. Jalen Bradley, who last year ran wild, 2,917 yards, 52 touchdowns, is playing as a true freshman at running back at Nebraska. So the timeout is over. 2nd down and 5. 21-21. It was 21-14 at halftime, but James Burks goes 91 to tie it. Now it's Bellevue West opportunity to respond. Drucker runs into Hickman, who has an offer from Nebraska and Iowa. Minimal gain, but enough. After that 5-yard penalty, it was only 2nd down and 5, and the 5-yard pickup gives Bellevue West 1st down and 10. Betts in man coverage, bottom of your screen. Keep an eye. They've started to run him on a slant across the middle. Dalenchek looks his way. Stop and go. Caught it in midfield. Turned to the sideline, got a couple of extra yards.
And again, the pass sails a little bit. Betts has to go up in the air to get it, but makes a good snag and then turns upfield to get a few extra.
Betts coming into tonight, 41 receptions this year. 15 have ended in the end zone. Number 3 in receiving in Class A. Long and rangy and fast. All things that have eluded me in my football career. Ducker with a high snap, inside handoff, and he dives forward to the 42, and that is enough for a 1st down.
Just moving it down the field now. This Bellevue West offense is churning out 1st downs. Feels like they're really trying to milk the clock down and make every possession count now.
The toss and the catch by Smith, and another good gain on 1st down. Now, we have always kind of been known with Mike Huffman as the head coach is that Bellevue West is explosive. They'll score in minimal plays. But they took the opening kickoff and went 15 plays before they scored. And here they're kind of doing the same thing as Smith got a couple extra yards before James Burks wrapped him up and then got some help. There is Mike Huffman. Play sheet on his hip. He and his wife Lori and their family all invested in Bellevue West football. They couldn't be happier with the way last year turned out. And Ducker. I got 3rd down and short.
A lot of trust in Javon Ducker. Now deep into his sophomore season, you can see it. They really put a lot on his shoulders. A lot of this offense goes through number 8.
Upset brewing in the capital city. Lincoln Pius X leads number 1 Omaha North 28-14. Millard West is winning in the capital city. Could they be the new number 1 if the Vikings are knocked off? Here, these two teams would like to be number 1 on the night of November 21st at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. 3rd down, Dalenchek's pass is incomplete.
man coverage on Betts. He wants a call. There is no flag on the field.
Yeah, the contact came after the ball was well past Betts. I don't see any way that this can be called pass interference. See, the ball's past him, and then the defender gets tangled up in his legs. I understand the complaint, but it's not there.
On 4th down, the pass is completed, and it is going to be enough for a first down to Kaiser. Bellevue West went quick. Kaiser caught the ball and gets the first down by 2 yards. They caught Burke on their heels, and they convert a 4th down. They get a fresh set of downs now at the 30-yard line. Clock moving, wind at their back in a 21-21 game, and Duckers on the move again for a quick hitter for 5. Just methodical.
You keep seeing it, that this offensive line, which is pretty big for Bellevue West, is starting to lean on those defensive linemen for Burke. Watch for Ducker to maybe pop one here as we head towards the 4th quarter.
Pump fake, pass to the end zone, wide open. Touchdown, Shane Smith.
And you know who got beat on that play? James Burks. He just had a 91-yard touchdown run. Dolanchek absolutely fools him out of his shoes with the pump fake. You're going to see it right here. Pump and go. Burks nowhere to be found. Great play by the T-Birds.
Bellevue West is back on top. 27-21. Dolanchek with another touchdown pass as he finds Shane Smith again tonight. PAT is up, and it is good from Daniel Campbell. Now 28-21. Like a typical Bellevue West drive. As they answer Burke's touchdown. With a minute 47 to go in the 3rd quarter. Another lengthy drive for the T-Birds. It started throwing the 30-yard line. 70 yards later, they're in the end zone. Courtesy of Shane Smith on the catch of the touchdown pass from Joe Dolanchek.
And Shane Smith is sort of an underrated piece of this Bellevue West offense. Came in with 344 yards receiving and 6 touchdowns. Oh, by the way, he's also just a junior. Such a youth movement for Bellevue West, and you feel like, as Coach Huffman told us before the game, if they can find a quarterback to replace Dolanchek next season, they're going to be really good again, and probably the year after.
The thing about it is, we're watching this game tonight. Don't be surprised if we get to see this kind of a matchup for years to come. Both of these teams are young. Aided by the wind, another kickoff into the end zone, and Burke will have the ball with a minute 47 to go in the 3rd quarter. This is game time on YurView, final night of the regular season. There's John Schreiner. I'm Gary Sharp. Megan Scolio is on the field. Our fantastic crew is with us once again tonight, delivering the best pictures of anywhere. Top of the action. We will carry the first 2 rounds of the playoffs the next 2 Friday nights. So you think this is goodbye tonight? Nope. We're just saying hello for a little bit more high school football. We've really enjoyed this season, our live coverage, game time on YurView. Everybody that has joined us on the stream, we appreciate the comments. Hope you're enjoying this one. This one's going to go down to the final possession. Now Burke down a touchdown. They go right back to work, and they get a first down. Little pitch and catch. Chadwick to Watts.
And Watts, we saw him get involved in that 2nd quarter, and then had the big 41-yard touchdown pass, and then kind of went dormant again. So maybe we're seeing another drive where they're going to focus on trying to get the ball into the playmakers' hands.
Also pretty cognizant they're going to get the ball in the 4th quarter with the wind at their back. Again, the wind whipping through our sideline mics, and a good quick pickup on the ground with Gio Maynard. That will get 5. We're starting to see both of these teams are getting big numbers on first down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Starting to see the kind of offense we thought we were going to see throughout this one. As, you know, things get a little bit tired, legs get a little bit slower, especially on that defensive side, and all that pursuit starts to slow down just a little bit.
Chris Hickman has a cramp. So that is the delay, and he's going to, we've all been there before. He's going to trot off the field.
extremely talented Chris Hickman. Iowa State has offered him a scholarship. Missouri, Nebraska, Ole Miss. Getting a lot of attention, and rightfully so. And just recently offered by Iowa. Burke has a storied history of sending players on the Power 5 programs. Maynor again on the run. It's a first down. He cuts the outside. He's got blockers in front of him, and a good deep run across midfield. Gio Maynor with only his 3rd carry of the night.
A well-blocked play. He just looks like straight-up zone blocking. Good block downfield by the H-back Tatum, getting out on a linebacker, staying with it. Maynor makes the most of his limited opportunities here.
Under a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. These two teams have held on for a while. Chadwick, pass deep down the field. It is tipped away, and it is intercepted.
I think that came off of Caden Hayes' helmet. I think it bounced right off his helmet and popped up in the air. Amazing.
Gannon Spahn gets the deflection and the interception, only Chadwick's 5th of the year.
It's a fluttering pass into the wind, hits Hayes right on top of the head, and Gannon Spahn's not going to have an easier interception in his career.
2nd turnover of the night by Burke. That was into the wind. And now Bellevue West with the interception. They have the football. 27 seconds to go inside. Little toss to Betts, and with that great speed, he gets around the edge. And he got tripped up, or he may have gone the rest of the way.
And after that long run by James Burks and the methodical drive down the field by Bellevue West, does it not feel like there's some momentum shifting now for the home team?
The first turnover, Bellevue West turned it into points. The 2nd turnover, they get a big pickup by Betts all the way out to the 32-yard line. Ducker in motion. Dalenchek looking deep down the field. Throws it for Smith, and it is incomplete, as he was in man-to-man coverage with Darnell Davis. Clock stops, 5 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Then Bellevue West will be moving into the wind in the final 12 minutes.
That's excellent coverage by Darnell Davis. Staying right with Smith. Smith has found himself wide open a number of times tonight, but on that play, Davis with a great defensive play.
2nd down and 10, final play of the 3rd quarter. Dalenchek looks over the personnel. Where is Mr. Betts? He's at the top of your screen. Where is Ducker? Ducker's on the run, and Bobby Murray held on for dear life. And that will bring the 3rd quarter to an end. Only the 5th interception of the season thrown by Tyler Chadwick. 4th quarter's coming up. Bellevue West 28-21.
At DiVentures, we want to create a full-service customer experience. Cox Business, as our technology partner, does exactly that. The team at Cox Business came in, took a look at our business, and recommended top-notch solutions. With IP Centrics, we have a managed, scalable solution to meet all of our customer needs. We get hundreds of phone calls a day, thousands over the course of a week. Because we have Cox Business, we can focus on what we love to do, being on the water and in the water.
At Woodhouse Auto Family, the buying experience is different, and the over 27,000 customers who bought from us last year know why. Our knowledgeable sales staff know the brands, the products, and take time to get to know you and guide you to your perfect vehicle. And that experience continues with any of our 16 service locations, and with trained advisors and technicians to help you maintain your vehicle. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse.
Bouncy ball. Look, it's almost alive. Advertising used to be simple. Make an ad, put it on TV, get results. Today, with all the new viewing options, it's a lot more complex. At Cox Media, we make the complex simple. With precise targeting, transparency, and automation, we connect advertisers to audiences. Anyone, anywhere, on any screen.
Advertising simplified. Contact Cox Media to learn more.
Final quarter of the regular season. The playoffs are next. Both of these teams are in. Playoff seeding on the line. Number one team in Class A in danger of seeing their unbeaten season come to an end. They trail 28-21 to Lincoln Pius X. We begin the fourth quarter with a Ducker carry. He'll be short of first down, and now it's fourth down at the 40. Bellevue West into the wind. They're going to go for it. Nope, they will elect to punt here. So Dalenchek will punt it away. Up a touchdown.
That's a big defensive stop by the Burke defense, because, as I said, it felt like momentum was really shifting towards Bellevue West after the interception. And now they're going to get the football back with a chance to tie it up.
Rugby-style punt. Dalenchek did get it away. Into that wind. It is down at the 28-yard line. So Burke is 72 yards away from tying this game at 28 apiece. Tyler Chadwick back on the field after the interception that was thrown into the wind, got caught up in the wind and deflected off the helmet of a Bellevue West Thunderbird, intercepted by Spahn. Chadwick has been part of 15 wins over the course of the last 2 years. It was 21-14 at halftime in favor of Bellevue West. We've had one tie tonight. Bellevue West jumped out to a 14-0 lead. Here's Burks. Last carry went 91 for a score. Will not go 91 here, but did a good job of following his blocks to get a good pickup on first down.
It's still tough sledding on the inside. Outside of one run for James Burks, it's been a great effort by this defensive line and linebackers to just keep him contained for the most part.
Omaha North has been upset by Pius X. Kearney will be the number 1 seed in Class A. North falls to the number 2 seed. James Burks dancing around, looking for a hole, and a good pickup. Enough for a first down.
That said, the holes do seem to be getting just a little bit wider now, with this Burke offensive line starting to lean a little bit.
Burks did a good job of getting skinny through the hole on that pickup. (28-21). The winner will improve their current seeding, 5th and 7 respectively. Bellevue West Burke. James Burks was popped in the hole. He ran into a sledgehammer. That sledgehammer was Austin Shook. Not many guys are going to run headlong into Burks and knock him down.
That was one heck of a collision. And I don't know that either guy lost in the collision. They both kind of go sideways. Oh, that is a lot of force.
Remember, Burks is a 2-time state champion in wrestling. He could be a 4-timer. That is a rare feat. Here he is carrying the football. Struggles to get across the 46, and now it's going to be 3rd down and short. He hasn't bounced it to the outside very often tonight. His 91-yard touchdown run was between the tackles that he found some room and then turned on the Jets. Clock running, 4th quarter. Burke, can they get the answer? As James Burks becomes a workhorse. Last time he was on Game Time, he ran the ball 40 times. And then chatted with Megan Scolio after the game. Who will Megan talk to tonight when this one is over? 3rd down. Chadwick changes the play. Looks to the sideline, and there's way too much confusion. The play clock was nearing 0. So a timeout taken by Burke. 9:06 to go in the game. 28-21. The number 1 team in Class A has fallen tonight to Pius X. The Bolts needed that one to firmly be in the playoffs. And Kearney at 9-0 will be the number 1 seed in Class A, and a extremely physical Bearcat team. Cannon Custer is the quarterback, who is one of the better slingers in the state. So here are the updated point averages for Class A.
How about that? Kearney going to be the number 1 overall seed in the playoffs.
Now Millard West is going to beat Lincoln High tonight, so Millard West will move up. 8-1, they'll finish the regular season. We saw the Wildcats earlier in the year when they beat Millard North. Millard North is on a roll. 3 teams, the top 3 teams from the 4 districts make it. And you fill in with the next 4 wild cards.
It's going to be interesting to see where all these matchups shake out and who's going to end up playing who. We could have some stellar first-round games.
And we've had not a lot of parity in Class A this year, but you've been saying, well, there's a big 4, North, Burke, Bellevue West, Millard West, but don't forget about the Bearcats at Kearney. Wide open this year. This is 3rd down. Burks trying to get to the outside. He follows his blockers, a trio of them, and he has got a first down by a yard again.
And again, it's a lot of blockers at the point of attack for Burke. You're going to see fullback, H-back, 2 pulling linemen, just so much beef out in front of James Burke. It's really hard to slow that play down.
Brian Barrera was leading the charge as the puller. And in midfield, Burke keeps this drive alive. A whistle from the Bellevue West sideline, and Thunderbirds are taking a timeout. 8:45 to go. Bellevue West 28, Burke 21. This is Game Time on YurView, the Iowa Western game of the week.
Schedule your campus visit today. Iowa Western. The world is waiting.
Speaking of upsets, last night in Class B, Elkhorn South saw their 34-game winning streak snapped in Class B. The #1 ranked Storm fell to Gretna. 24-14. Gretna was #2, and Gretna wins that district for the first time since 2013, and don't be surprised if that is a rematch in the Class B final at Memorial Stadium in about a month. Chadwick, quick pass, wide open is Davis, and he's inside of the 40. Chadwick looked left, went back right, and Davis was all by himself.
Yeah, I think there's some miscommunication in the secondary out here, as both corner and safety took the deep route. Nobody's sitting in the flat. Made an easy catch for the wide receiver.
Another first down. Toss out to Davis, too far out in front of him. That was a dangerous pass, as the defensive backs were sneaking into the pattern. Boy, that could have been a pick six going the other way, and nobody would have stopped him.
A pass like that where you lead the flare receiver a little bit too far with a defensive back bearing down on him, you can get your receiver's head taken off like that as well.
Second out and 10. Bellevue West. Just a beautiful night for football in late October. Turn and handoff to Burks. Eluded one tackler, breaks a second one. You could see that wrestling move, that balance in those legs, trying to back his way for more yardage. Maybe got a yard, maybe less than that. And now it is third down and long for Burke. 4-down territory.
Yeah, I don't know if you feel good enough about your defense that maybe you kick this thing deep if you don't pick it up and trust your defense to get you the ball back. I don't know, but it's going to be a tough decision on that Burke sideline.
Third down and long. Chadwick slings it
out to the flat. It's caught, and a great move will mean a first down and more for Davis. Check that, Xavier Watts, which has become a friend of Tyler Chadwick.
Stopped on the play by number 3, Xavier Watts makes the decision a moot point. Just cuts inside again. Great moves by the fellow wearing number 4.
Now inside of the red zone, looking for the equalizer. Hendricks with a new number, his jersey ripped in the first half, in motion. Handoff to Burks. He'll trudge his way for a few yards. 7 to go in the game. 28-21 Bellevue West. Burks was held in check in the first half, then had that 91-yard touchdown run. Now they are leaning on the junior running back.
It's been a grinding kind of drive for the Bulldogs. See if they can finish it off with 6.
Play action, Chadwick across the middle. It is broken up. He was looking for Davis.
That's a heck of a defensive play by Michael Smilko. Comes in with a strong hand in front of Davis to swat it away. Touchdown saving play.
Smilko earlier this year made a touchdown saving play at the 1-yard line on the final play against Bellevue West. He tackled the Wildcat wide receiver, keeping him out of the end zone. That's the only thing keeping Bellevue West from an unbeaten regular season. Third down for the Burke Bulldogs. Chadwick takes his time. Hickman in motion from left to right. Hickman looking to the end zone now. Calls his own number to the 5. That is enough for a first down.
Nice decision by the quarterback. This is a decisive run. He doesn't see it immediately, so just tucks it and gets upfield to pick up the first down. Well done.
Trying to tie this one up. Handoff to Burks. Blocker in front. Burks, touchdown!
You weren't going to hold him down forever. And in the second half, James Burks has come up huge with a long touchdown and a little shorter one right here. But both of them absolutely massive in this game.
Following his blockers, he had 3 in front. And then Burks with a quick burst of speed from 6 out. We are a Jason Gutierrez PAT away from being tied at 28. Another quality drive for Burke where they converted some key situations. And Gutierrez, the left foot, meets leather and through the pillars, and we're tied at 28.
How about it? I mean, we knew we were in for a good one tonight. I don't know if we thought it would be quite this good. It has been.
We thought there would be more points, actually.
I think I was kind of thinking in the 38-31 range. 6:08 to go. I don't think we're going to get quite there, but man, it seems like whoever's going to have the ball last is going to have the best chance to win here tonight. Both offenses in this second half executing at a pretty high level, and you have to give credit to Tyler Chadwick, the way he directed his offense down the field, and some tough running from James Burks.
13 plays, 72 yards, took a shade over 5 minutes off the clock. Now they put the ball back into the hands of Joe Dolanchek, who will be trying to find the go-ahead score against the wind. Matthew Wright will kick off. This should go through the end zone. It will not. Chases Kaiser back inside of the 5. Turn of 17 yards.
Here comes the Bellevue West offense. Whatever you can do, I can do better has kind of been the story of the second half tonight. And with 6 minutes to go, we don't be surprised if there's a lot of the clock eaten up here. Very methodical has been Bellevue West as they have made their way down the field. It's become Ducker versus Burks. We nailed it at the beginning with our keys and our players of the game. Two running backs are making the most of their opportunities. Dalenchek, snap back to him. Good time. Pass down the field. It is caught. Johnson for the first time tonight. Cedric Johnson, who is more known for his basketball exploits than his football, makes a nice catch. First down. Pickup out to the 34-yard line.
Dalenchek looks much more comfortable throwing into the wind than he did with it at his back.
3 down linemen, the 2 defensive ends. Hickman trying to set the defense from his spot. The blitz is on. Dalenchek's pass is dropped by Johnson.
Had the route combination dialed up correctly. Defense playing a little bit off. Johnson just got his head around a little bit too quickly, trying to get upfield. Didn't secure the catch.
Four wide receivers. Dalenchek checks the sidelines. And Ducker moves into position. Dalenchek, quick toss near side. It is caught by Kaiser, and he is immediately met at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, good play by Burks to come up and make that play.
3rd down and 10. Burke just scored to tie it at 28. The winner is the district champion in a better spot in the postseason. The 1 is Kearney. The 2 is North. Millard West is 3. Who will be 4? Dalenchek steps up. Pass down the field. Caught by Johnson. That's a first down.
So well executed. Great patience by Dalenchek. Looks. Finds his receiver in a good turn up field by Cedric Johnson. T-Bird offense starting to come alive a little bit.
Cedric has been offered by Wayne State in basketball. He's a top 10 player, which you'll see in the winter here in the Metro. And here's Ducker racing into the defense and inside of the 30. Boy, he was kind of hidden among the purple jerseys.
Yeah, it's power. This is the power play out of the shotgun. Forbes blows up a defensive lineman, creates that hole for Javon Ducker. A.J. Forbes has been getting it done on the offensive line all night long.
Yeah, he wants to study physical therapy in college. Air Force has given him a strong look. Forbes with a big block. They'll continue to run behind him. Inside handoff to Ducker. This time he runs behind Reynolds for a couple of yards. Bellevue West will be pretty patient here.
Well, we kind of thought that they would try to chew up some clock here, but they've been going fast. This is the offense on speed mode right now.
28-28. Cedric Johnson, bottom of your screen. Dalenchek looks left. Pass too high.
Yeah, it's just so uncharacteristic for a quarterback who on the season completes 66% of his passes, and tonight has just looked off in a lot of spots.
3rd down and 8. Again, this is into the wind if you're thinking about a field goal to go ahead. Seven on the line of scrimmage. Here comes Burke. Dalenchek just throws it up, and it's caught by Ducker, and it's a touchdown!
Perfect play call for the time. Blitz is coming. It's a screen pass, and somehow Ducker comes up with it. Defense comes through. It's a screen. Hickman right there. Ducker tips it to himself. and does a little tap dance into the end zone. Oh my goodness, we're in for a finish.
Hickman was just a fingertip away from redirecting that football. At 6'6", he lunged for it, couldn't make contact, and Ducker is in the end zone again, where he has been living in a purple paradise. Carl Johnson, our referee, is letting a slip read. Bellevue West is set up to go up a touchdown. Daniel Campbell in for the PAT. Still a lot of time to go. 4 minutes after the Ducker reception from Dalenchek, and it's now 35-28. That drive didn't take very long.
A lot of passing yards on that drive, but it was a methodical passing game for Dalenchek and the Thunderbirds. No shots down the field, really. Just taking what the defense gave them, and then the great play to finish it off after a nice run from Ducker. Got him down near the red zone. What a play. Good throw from Dalenchek. Even better catch from the sophomore to give the Thunderbirds the lead back.
We've had some exciting ones this year from Burke and West Side. Last week, tight one between Benson and Bryan. Prep and Millard North. Our opener between Prep and West Side. And now our regular season finale. Bellevue West up 35-28. They've never trailed tonight. They led 14-0. They scored on a 15-play drive to begin the game, and then a muffed kickoff gave them the ball, and 2 plays later they were up 14-0 before Burke had a chance to put their offense on the field. There was a personal foul penalty on the touchdown by Ducker. So Bellevue West is kicking off from Burke's 45-yard line. Mark that off on the list of things that we would see this year that are not normal. So against the wind, I mean, do you try and show off here and kick it through the uprights? Or do you kick it high in the air and you hope the wind takes over? Already Burke tonight has muffed a kickoff. That was way back in the first half. This one rolls and into the end zone. It rolled past Davis. He never touched it, or did he? There is a discussion at the goal line. Here's the replay. You decide on YurView.
It's a touchback. It doesn't matter if he touches it. It's dead when it crosses the goal line. Doesn't matter if he touches it first.
Mike Huffman says no. Carl Johnson says no. So where are they going to mark the football? Because it doesn't look like it's in touchback territory.
Well, if they don't bring this out to the 20, then I don't know what the call is.
Well,
it's either a touchdown or a touchback. There can be nothing in between, right?
Live football, and they'll call it a touchback. And the crowd at Bellevue West reacts accordingly.
Yeah, I think it's because of the way the high school rules lay it out. It doesn't matter if the player touches the ball before it goes into the end zone. Once it's into the end zone, unless it's controlled and fumbled, it's a touchback.
One final look, and this is a great angle.
I don't think he touched it anyway.
He did not. He did not. The correct call puts the ball at the 20. So here we go. Burke needs a touchdown to tie it. 3:56 to go. Burks first to carry. Burks, big carry for 14. Nearing 200 yards again. He'll want to play every game next year on Game Time. The Iowa Western Game of the Week has been good to James Burks.
It certainly has. Now with 199 yards on 26 carries.
He was in the 30s at halftime. Burke has 2 timeouts remaining. Clock running. Down a score. Chadwick, play action, chased out of the pocket, now on the run. Has lots of room in front of him. Across midfield and into T-Bird territory. Buckle up, boys and girls.
You have to give Tyler Chadwick credit because he's been under fire all night long in the passing game, but has made some really good decisions of when to throw it, when to tuck it. Obviously made the right choice to tuck it and run right there.
Bellevue West won this game last year 45-41. The T-Birds are up a touchdown, 3:28 to go in regulation. But the Burke Bulldogs are moving. Burks inside of the 40. That's a pickup of 6, and he's over 200 yards. He went 40 for 250 and 3 scores against Westside a couple of weeks ago when we were sitting with the best view of anybody. He was our player of the game. He had a 91-yard touchdown run last quarter. Clock stops with 3 minutes and a second to go. Both of these teams are in the playoffs. This is for a district championship and better seeding for the playoffs. The bracket will be announced later tonight. We will announce our opening round game on Game Time on YurView at YurView.com on Monday. Burks is the lone back in the backfield. Tatum is the man in motion. To the right of the formation. Snap back to Chadwick. Pump fake. Looking deep. Down the field. The receiver is open. And it just is out of his reach.
Oh my goodness.
He wanted Watts.
Oh boy. Wide open. What a double move. Gannon Spawn was lost in the sauce, Gary. Absolutely left in the dust by Xavier Watts. And it's inches too far.
3rd down and 4. Burke changes the hash mark.
Wow, that could be the play of the game right there.
Right to left. Again, the Bulldogs have 2 timeouts already. There is still plenty of time. They have the wind at their back. Tight formation to the left, and now a changing of the play for the Burke sideline. Trio of coaches signaling the change. Chadwick relays it. Man in motion again is Tatum. Handoff to Burks with Tatum leading blocker. Burks enough for a 1st down before he's pushed back, but he got to the 34-yard line. High school football, it stops the clock. 2:31 now to go. 34 yards away from closing in. Paul Lamanji, 12th year head coach for Omaha Burke. They've never won a state title. He's been there before in the final loss to Lincoln Southeast. They were preseason #1, knocked off by North 2 weeks ago. Now trying to rally and force overtime on the final night of the regular season. 1st down and 10. Burks nailed, but another big pickup by the junior running back.
Well, guess who made that hit? Malik Room has been bringing the thunder all night long, and look at that. Oh my goodness, what a pop.
There's a pickup of 6. Clock continues to run. Burke has 2 timeouts remaining. They're taking a lot of time here. The play clock is at 8. It is at 7. It is at 6. Chadwick looks over the defense and offside.
And it's going to be, I think it's Hickman on the false start.
Yeah, he took off.
was anxious. Push him back 5. Minute 36.
A lot of mental errors from Burke tonight.
Derailed them against North early, and then in that ground and pound they couldn't keep up against the Vikings, who were upset tonight by Pius X. 2nd down and 9 for Tyler Chadwick, the junior quarterback. Chadwick out of the pocket, now under a lot of pressure. He's got to get rid of it, and he's sacked. And a flag goes down. He was pulled down by his face mask.
What a huge break for Burke. This is going to give them a 1st down when Chadwick was sacked in the backfield, but a face mask is going to be a 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down. What a break.
Get a look at it here. Chadwick under all kinds of pressure, couldn't get rid of it, and there he got yanked down. This will move the ball. The play would have not had a face mask. Chadwick would have been sacked back at the 41. Now the ball is resting on the 26.
They don't give him an automatic 1st down. High school rules, it's just the penalty from the spot, not automatic 1st down.
2 timeouts remaining for the Bulldogs. Minute 19. Down 35-28. Everybody at John Feiman Field is on their feet. Both teams 7-1. With aspirations a month and a day from now of playing in the state championship game for Class A. Bellevue West won it last year, dominating fashion over Omaha North. They lost last week. It snapped their 20-game winning streak. Arl Johnson is walking over to the Burks sideline. Some instructions for the Burke Bulldogs staff. Paul Lamanji had a question, I believe, on where they placed the football. So it is 2nd down at the 26-yard line. It is 2nd down and 2. Tatum in motion again. 2 wide receivers top of the screen. Burks on the carry, cuts it back. He's got a 1st down and more. He was initially stopped at about the 22, kept the legs a churning, got 3 extra.
Just tremendous individual effort. It's not a tremendously well-blocked play up front, but a great leg drive at the end of it to push past the sticks and get the 1st down.
Chadwick rolls out, slings it downfield. It is caught by Davis, and he is out of bounds. Stops the clock with exactly a minute to go.
Would we have it any other way?
Number 5, Donald Davis.
Another 2nd tick off the clock somewhere. It looked like it was stopped at a minute for a long time, and now it's down to 59.
2nd down and 3 at the 12-yard line.
Keep an eye on that.
Keep an eye on Davis and Watts. Here's Hickman at 6'6" in motion. Chadwick, play action, looks left, now under pressure, and he's sacked in the backfield. Dakota McInnes with an ankle sack. The clock is still running, and Burke is forced to burn one of their 2 timeouts remaining.
The defensive ends for Bellevue West have been after Chadwick all night long. The 2 combined for a sack earlier in this one. McInnes gets the solo sack, his 2nd of the season, right here in a huge spot.
Timeout Burke. 3rd down and 7 at the 17-yard line. 45 seconds to go. Bellevue West trying to hold on. Burke is trying to force the extra session. You have 2 downs here. What are you thinking, John, with the talent you have available? Do you try Burks to get the 1st down and then go from there? Or do you maybe take a crack at the end zone? Remember, you've got a 6'6" Chris Hickman out there.
That's my first thought is you put Chris Hickman on the back line of the end zone and throw it in a place where he's either going to catch it or it's going to go out the back of the end zone. And I think you do it 2 times and see what you come up with. Keeping it on the ground now it's a risky proposition because you just don't know what's going to happen. And boy, you'd hate to leave anything in the bag when this thing is all done.
Timeout is over. 45 seconds remaining. Tyler Chadwick, the junior quarterback, trying to lead a game-tying drive.
Yeah, there's Hickman to the top of your screen. He's going to be soloed up. It looks like they're going to walk a safety over top of him, too.
Burks directly behind Chadwick. And a timeout taken by Bellevue West. Mike Huffman waited right before the snap. The Bellevue West head coach ran right down to the side judge and said, I need a timeout. And so they got to see the different formation, John. Great job pointing that out, because we haven't seen Hickman out there like that tonight.
No, he's mostly playing on the end of the line or in a tight slot. But you put him out there, and he's going to be soloed up. And it looked like, Gary, I think the reason the timeout was called is they wanted that safety over the top for sort of a bracket coverage look. And then the safeties started walking back to the middle of the field. So perhaps there was some confusion about what the coverage was going to be. And they wanted to get that stopped before Hickman had a one-on-one shot with a 5'10" cornerback.
Bellevue West 35, Burke 28. Bellevue West is out of timeouts. Burke has one remaining.
.6'6" against 5'10". Top of your screen. It's Michael Smilko, the hero from the Millard West game.
On the 17-yard line. Third down. Bellevue West brings pressure. Chadwick chased out of the pocket. He's got room to run to the near side. Cuts it out, and he goes out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Now they'll move it back to the 11. That is a yard shy. So it is 4th down and 1.
Clock running.
He did not get out of bounds. Burke is going to have to burn their final timeout. He tried to get out of bounds. He could not. So Burke takes the timeout. 24 seconds to go. It'll be 4th down at about 1.5 yards.
That's 4th and marbles right here. What do you want to do? Do you want to try and pick up that first down and give your team 4 cracks at the end zone from the 10? But do you have enough time is the question. If you keep it on the ground and you pick up that first down, the clock will stop to reset the chains, but then you've got to be on it because you don't have any timeouts left. It would have been so critical if Chadwick could have gotten out of bounds there and saved the timeout. It might have opened up the possibility to keep the ball on the ground here. But now, I don't know.
On a team full of Utes on senior night, will it be a veteran that makes a play for Bellevue West? Here it is, my friends. 4th down, and they'll call it 2 from the 11-yard line. Both teams are out of timeouts. 24 seconds to go. Burke needs a score. Most importantly, they need at least a first down.
Look out. H-back and fullback to the right of the quarterback. This is showing power all the way.
Tatum and Burks in the backfield. Snap back to Chadwick. Hand off to Burks. He cuts it back up, and he's got the first down.
Ball.
And the ball is on the turf. A scramble for it. Burke saying they have it. Bellevue West comes out of the fray with the football. No signal. The clock is stopped with 16 seconds, and Bellevue West recovers the football.
It's something that is a little hole in James Burks' game. He had lost 3 fumbles coming into this one. And right there in a big, big spot, loses another.
We will see when it came out. He had enough for the first down, and it was loose, and on the hit, it is out before he goes down, and recovered by Bellevue West, and the T-Birds
are going to hold off Burke, and they will win tonight to finish the regular season at 8-1.
Weird, wild stuff.
Dalenchek takes a knee, and we are headed to the postseason with a thriller in Bellevue. The defending Class A champions, 35. Omaha Burke, 28. We will have a player of the game and a chat with Bellevue West head coach Mike Huffman. Game time on YurView. What a night for the Iowa Western Game of the Week.
Where will the next generation of caregivers come from? Who trains them? Who mentors them? Who inspires them? At CHI Health, we believe in the power of education. As partners with Creighton University, we are advancing a new era of academic health care. We're researching and collaborating to bring more minds to every case, every patient, every day. We're giving the future of care a new home. CHI Health. Imagine that.
You're the decision maker, weighing every option to make the smartest choice. That's why you start with Nebraska Medicine, an entire network of top providers working together to keep you healthy. From extraordinary primary care to world-leading research and treatments, so you can be confident everyone's health is in good hands. The state's most comprehensive care in 19 locations. Nebraska Medicine.
At Woodhouse Auto Family, the buying experience is different, and the over 27,000 customers who bought from us last year know why. Our knowledgeable sales staff know the brands, the products, and take time to get to know you and guide you to your perfect vehicle. And that experience continues with any of our 16 service locations, and with trained advisors and technicians to help you maintain your vehicle. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse.
You're watching this week's Game Time on YurView, the Iowa Western Game of the Week. This is what we expected. Bellevue West holds off Omaha Burke 35-28. Let's send it down to the field where Megan Scolio is joined by Bellevue West head coach Mike Huffman and our player of the game, Javon Ducker. Megan?
Coach, that was a great stop at the end of the game there. What do you think of your team's performance?
We're just really excited, man. Burke is a great football team. They're one of the top in the state, and to come out and play like that and finish the season off on the right note heading into the playoffs. You know, we've played them 3 times in 5 years, and every single time it's come down to the last 15 seconds and 1 snap, and we're just happy to be on the right end of that 1 snap.
Javon here had 3 touchdowns. What did you see from him tonight?
You know, Javon Ducker is going to be one of the best players the state's seen. You know, we had an awesome guy last year, Jalen Bradley, that really took him under his wing, and you see a lot of resemblance there. And we tell our guys, man, the playmakers in purple have to show up when the money's on the line, and tonight it doesn't get any bigger than this. And when a push came to shove, Javon came through. All
right, thanks, Coach Javon. Let's get you in here. District champs tonight. How does that feel?
I feel pretty good. It just really shows that the defense wins games, and it's just really good feeling.
Tough battle tonight. What did you think of your team?
I really liked the defense. They really stepped it up. I mean, it was a little shaky, but at the end, they really pulled out, just like always, just like the Bellevue West game. And then our offense, my linemen, good blocking. It was just a great game.
All right, thanks. Congrats.
Thanks, Megan. 35-28, Bellevue West downs Omaha Burke to conclude the regular season. Javon Ducker, big night tonight, 157 yards rushing. Add some receiving, add some scores.
Great night for the sophomore. Doing it all. Touchdowns in a couple of different ways. On the handoff from the Wildcat and on the screen pass.
Bellevue West finishes the regular season 8-1. Burke falls to 7-2. And here is what the second half was. It started with a 91-yard touchdown run by James Burks.
Well, we knew he was not going to be bottled up all night long, and that certainly was true in the second half. His second half much better than his first half, and that was a big one right there. It really got Burke feeling like they were back into it. but boy, Bellevue West just seemed to answer every time. Every time the bell rang, they came out of the corner swinging and came up with something to keep them in the lead in this one.
Dolanchek found a wide open Shane Smith. Those two connected a couple of times tonight.
Yeah, and it was all hands on deck kind of for Burke. Had Gio Maynard getting involved in the run game a little bit, throwing the ball down the field, and then the weird play off the helmet of Hayes, picked off by Spawn. But Burke just wouldn't go away either. As many times as Bellevue West answered, Burke answered just as many. And James Burks, what a tough character he is.
Remember, this started out as a 14-0 deficit quickly for Burke tonight.
Yeah, and you wonder, how is this game different without that fumbled kickoff following the first Bellevue West touchdown? Does that change the complexion of the game if Burke's not in a 14-0 hole to start things off? But man, down the stretch, what can you say about the maturity of Javon Ducker and that catch right there that ended up being the game winner?
Then Burke would have a chance. They put it in the hands of James Burks.
Yeah, and you know what? We're going to see at the end of this drive, after Chadwick's big run, that he doesn't get out of bounds. Oh man, it's hard to watch because he had such a good night, did James Burks, but down there when it mattered, he just didn't hold on to the football.
Final score tonight, Bellevue West 35, Omaha Burke 28. Dolanchek got going through the air in the second half, and James Burks got going on the ground in the second half for Bellevue West and Burke, respectively. 3 turnovers by Burke. Bellevue West was able to turn those into points. This almost has the feel like we should do this again in the postseason between these two teams.
Yeah, you know what? I think it could honestly happen. I think they'll probably be on the same side of the bracket. They might see each other down the road.
Regular season is over, but we are not. We'll be back with you next Friday night with the opening round of the playoffs. Check YurView.com on Monday. We will have the matchup. We guarantee that it will be a good one. We've had a fun regular season. How about we do this again in the playoffs a week from tonight? For our entire crew, for Megan Scolio, for Joe Ziski, our statistician, for John Schreiner, I'm Gary Sharp. Again, the final score, Bellevue West 35, Omaha Burke 28. Game time on YurView, the Iowa Western Game of the Week. Good night, everybody.
But you know what? Like, fight. Ton of fight in that team.
I mean, there's all the teams. These are definitely
But-
two of the top 4 teams.
My goodness, your quarterback can only run for his life so often, you know? It's.
I can't believe North lost.
That's like astonishing.
Yeah. Good luck, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to their offensive line. Like, they're getting beat by 184-pound defensive end. Like, and you know, okay. He's quick. He's tough to handle. But you should run the ball right at that motherfucker, like, all night long.
And you know what? I mean, like, if Chadwick's not going fast, I mean.
But you know what? Like, Huffman was. I mean, that defensive staff is smart because they put 44 over top of him all night long, and he brings the thunder, man. So in the run game, he was there to cover it.
Hickman and Henrich were not very good today.
No, neither one. Henrich made one good play where he ran down Ducker from after he came on a blitz, and then